dialed in to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something you can use. Like tips on your cash or tips on the suds. You're gonna want to use the smarts of these studs. Cause they know the brews, and they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks. So listen up, cause shit's not funny. And save yourself some beer money. Bucks and Brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and Brews.
Bucks and Brews.
So we're back on Bucks and Brews, and this is going to be probably my favorite episode because it's with one of my favorite people.
Thanks.
You're welcome, Mike.
I like Mike too.
I know you do.
Guy.
By the way, you're just the eye candy down there. So let's talk about what we're drinking first. I have fun stuff, Nick.
Kind of jealous. I feel like the odd man out.
So I have from Grand Armory, which is one of our absolute favorite breweries. I have a Mother Schmucker's Raspberry Ale.
That's true.
That I have mixed with another favorite brewery of ours, Destel, for their peanut butter porter.
Ooh.
And then when I get done with that from Trail Point, I have a S'mores Van Doom.
It's not, I went with the old tried and true, somewhat blue Michelob Ultra, who still hasn't sponsored me.
Still has not.
And I'm not mad about it.
They're spending too much money sponsoring people like Peyton Manning, and Steve Buscemi, and
that was a very expensive commercial. I'm glad you guys seen it.
Yeah.
But I drink the same thing that these rich people drink, so I put my pinky up to that now.
There you go. Mike, what you got down there?
See, I'm not sure which one I'm going to start with, but I've got Sweater Weather Stout from Eastern Market Brewing Company. It's an Imperial.
Okay.
I've got Spiked Smoothie and Orange Pomegranate from Connecticut Valley Brewing Company. And then probably if I still want to drink after that, it'll be this Mike's Harder Green Apple that I just picked up.
And if he doesn't want to drink that, I'll drink it. Don't worry.
So our special guest tonight is none other than the great Hendi.
Hendi.
Here to all the viewers out there.
And he has brown wine.
Made it myself.
And if you want to know what brown wine is, just check in with us at some point. We'll tell you.
It'll probably come. I'm new here.
Yes.
And I see we've got 3 drinks apiece. This is only a 10-minute show then?
Absolutely.
All right.
So he doesn't know me very well, does he?
There's more in the fridge. This is what we
grabbed.
Yeah.
This is our, hey, we should probably start wrapping up because
we're going 2.5 hours.
It's like, I have a 24 case just
Or
chilling on top of the
it
refrigerator.
allows it to stay cold by only having so many out at the same time.
That too.
When you have a refrigerator that's on site, it makes it so much better.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have a fridge right in there.
Now, I'm not the program director or anything, but do we have a special guest in the studio this evening?
Yes, we do. Caitlin, my daughter, is watching because she wanted to see the great Hendi.
Behind us just for a second here.
You guys have seen Caitlin on our past episode talking about Caitlin's budget. And Caitlin, how's your budget going?
It's going pretty well.
Does that mean you have no idea?
No, it's going pretty well.
Good.
Yeah.
Renter in your apartment?
Yep.
Going great?
Yep.
Paying on time?
Paying on time.
Feeding you?
Feeding me.
Yeah. Paying for groceries?
So we split it.
Really?
Yeah.
And
we haven't fully gone grocery shopping together. So yeah.
Does your dad still buy all your groceries?
No.
I do not.
I buy my own groceries.
She buys her own groceries. She also had overtime the other week.
Ooh, well,
4
yeah,
hours and
that'll
2
happen
days.
when
I bought my own groceries.
Well, good.
your boss is dealing with her husband's medical issues
Oh,
and
geez.
not working.
That's extra taxes. I want to make sure that you all
Yes.
keep working very hard. Keep that Social Security coming in for us old folks. And I thank you.
Yeah, I know you do.
You're welcome.
So
You bought me ice cream. I'll give you some Social Security money.
That was a long time ago.
I would rather give all my Social Security money to you than a lot of other people out
yeah,
there.
very true.
Well, why don't we just bypass the government? You
There we
go
go.
right straight
Just
to
do
me.
that. Figure out exactly what it is and just say it's Stephen Devon here.
Yeah.
This is my $100 this month.
They gotta pay for travel,
Yeah.
vacation.
Well,
What's vacation?
You know what vacation is. You go all the time.
yeah.
I do way too often. I'm actually planning another one. Yeah.
Where are you going?
I don't know yet. Just not here.
Too bad we can't get Steve and Yvonne on the cruise with us.
Oh my God, that would be so much fun.
Why can't we?
My wife and I have spent almost all our money. We've given it away to the young football players at Plainville High School,
I can see that.
and we have almost none left. It's just, we spent our last
It's all,
$28 on a 5th Crown Royal.
yeah,
tonight.
it's all spent on liquor.
You chose $28 crown. I could have got it for like 15.
No shit.
No, but
Yes.
All right.
oh yeah.
Notice that?
Let's see.
And if I hadn't got my ass kicked on all my betting this year on the Lions, I'd have had more money too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna basically tell everybody who Steve is, so he might not want to listen to anything I say. So
You might not want to listen to anything he says.
well, that might be too. So I have known Steve since I was in 7th grade. He came over and was bidding some work at my grandmother's house. Steve owned his own construction company for how long, Steve?
I call it 50, but it's actually just shy of 50 years.
So we'll go
49 years, some months.
We'll go with 50 because Nick and I love round numbers.
You can't do the math otherwise.
Have you swung a hammer since you quit?
Yeah,
Then it's 50
I
years.
did just the other
Then
day.
it's 50 years.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So Steve had asked me, when I was in 7th grade, hey, do you play football? And I said, yeah. And he goes, all right, well, I'll be a coach in high school. And that was kind of the end of that for a couple of years. And then I had Steve. I played 4 years at Plainwell. I was a starter my JV year. My junior year, Steve was probably the most influential coach I had. So, we were excellent that year, only lost one game. And
He's just saying that because I was the only one that could come up with bail money to get his ass out of jail. That's the only reason.
this is also very true. Steve would take scout offense and scout defense and basically treat us like we actually mattered, which, for some of our coaches, I won't mention any names, was difficult for them. And before every game, especially the home games, Steve would come over and he'd put his hands on my shoulder and he'd go, pretend like I'm telling you something really inspirational. I'm just looking for my wife.
I remember that.
Every game. And it was something I always looked forward to. I can honestly say that I model a lot of my coaching style from Steve because he always made the last person on the bench feel as important as the, top quarterback on the team. He was literally so instrumental in me being able to take kids that did not know what they were doing and make them feel like they were talented beyond belief. And I can't thank him enough for that.
People are people.
Cheers.
Cheers. You're here.
Yeah. So you 50 years, you owned a construction company. I mean, now full construction, like full development.
Well, I started off small. One thing that I did is I started off building my own house. My dad, my grandma and grandpa gave me a piece of ground. My dad and my father-in-law showed me how to do it. And so as I did something on my own home, then I would go do it for somebody else, but I never would do stuff that I didn't know how to do and learn on someone else's home first. I always did it on my own. And
so if I hear you correctly, you actually didn't earn your own life. Like somebody handed you your first thing. They gave you a piece of land. So your whole life, you never earned anything.
no,
All right, I just want-
I would be a lot thinner today.
If somebody didn't just spoon feed the shit out of you, huh?
Well, no, wait a minute, actually, because I've done okay in gambling at golf, so.
It's $1 a hole. It's my favorite gambling.
I think these two guys cleaned my ass.
I can interrupt here for a minute. Steve took Mike, myself, and Mikey golfing once.
Yeah.
And I think he gave us 2 strokes a hole. And
He
we
still beat us.
we got to play best ball.
Oh, geez.
And the loser had to buy dinner for everyone. And he whooped our ass and
Some of
still
the
bought
best-
dinner.
Best prime rib I ever had.
Free prime rib is my favorite prime rib. Hey, they say we should golf. I'm horrible at it, but
Yeah.
I'm a great drinker.
No, actually, the truth is, my family was, especially my in-laws, which rightfully so they should have been, were very concerned about me.
Sure.
Cause it's not that I couldn't hold a job. If I didn't like it, I just wouldn't stay there.
Good for you.
And finally, I started building my house and I found something that I really loved and half-assed decent at it. And found out after a while, cutting those boards wrong, you can make some money at it too, so. But
My old favorite saying, right? Measure once, cut twice. That's what I always do. So,
My favorite saying?
let somebody else do it.
Yeah, find somebody to do it for you.
It's only money. Yeah, David.
Many times that was Steve.
Of handy people I've met, David's definitely top, I don't know,
800.
50 million, right?
is Caitlin gonna keep butting in like this?
She
all
is,
night?
absolutely.
I don't
she
know.
does.
How are we ever gonna get this done with her doing that?
I don't know.
Oh, never. I say our goal is never to get this done.
She was literally just coming here to see one of her favorite people. So.
Yeah.
And it's
Thanks, Caitlin.
not Nick or Mike or me.
Oh, have they showed up yet? They're still coming?
Yeah, I think they're sitting next to me.
Oh,
And again, I mean, I can't, just to go back to it for a minute, I can't overstate enough what Steve means to me. He's the closest thing I'm ever going to have to a father, and probably the closest thing she's ever going to have to a grandpa.
Now, wait a minute. The judge never proved anything.
I totally understand. That's why I said the closest thing
Oh,
too.
All right.
Remember that back child support we're gonna owe.
Yeah.
So
Make sure you tell your mom I said hi.
so
I will
Steve,
do that.
you've been in this game. You were in the game 50 years.
Yes.
Okay. You grow this business. Now, did you have employees, or were you all by yourself this whole time?
At first, I had no employees. I mean, it was just me. I'd get an occasional helper, get something heavy that you can't lift, something like that.
Sure.
At one point in time, I had 3 crews working, and I did that for a whole summer. And all I did is just go from job to job to job to job to job to job, just to run. The business ran me. I did not run the business. And I said, this is bullshit. I'm not going to do this anymore. Well, I was doing that male dance and the stuff on the side. I just didn't have time for all of it. But
You just described what I'm going through right now, right? I mean, my job is to go job to job to job to job, right? To make sure that these dumbasses are getting stuff done, and they're not, right? So then I have to sit here and tell them how dumb they are and understand, my favorite is, oh, we don't have paint. That 5 gallons that you're sitting on, that's not fucking paint, right? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I was like, all right, why don't we get a roller out? Yeah, but we got to prep this first. And you think sitting there is going to help? Well, I got to go to the store. Nope, I'll get it shipped here. I will get it shipped here. Don't do anything, right?
there's a reason
Yeah.
why you're the boss and they're helpers.
Yeah.
And I think you just went over that reason.
Very say I wish they would just take the initiative to get the thing, and they complain about how broke they are. And I sit here and just go, geez, you guys could be the richest people. Like, I would be the poorest out of all of us if you guys just worked, right? Like, I should be making $5 an hour, let's say, in theory, and you guys should be making like 50 right now. I mean, I have guys that complain, hey, can you go over there and change one outlet? I'll give you $25. No, I'm not going to go change an outlet. An outlet costs 67 cents, and if you have to put a cover on it, it's 30 cents. You're $1 all into it.
Nick,
Your drive time. is-
I'll change an outlet for you for $25.
Let's say,
We
Don't
trust
tell-
him.
how about, wait a minute. How about if I come help you? You paying cash? Hypothetically speaking, of course.
If the
Hypothetically.
government wasn't watching,
He pays you in poker chips.
yeah, I say I pay in brown bottles too.
There you go.
Oh,
Brown wine.
I say that too. 28, 25. You just got yourself a raise. Look at that.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what,
But-
next time he needs that done, let me know and we'll go do it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Caitlin, you're gonna have to come because you're gonna do the work and he and I are gonna make sure that the brown wine is okay.
Yeah, we'll supervise.
if I had to it blows my mind right now finding a contractor and then being able to keep the contractor is really hard. And David, you and I talk about this minimum wage bullshit all the time. And, oh, hey, everybody goes, hey, you should pay a living wage. And it's like, even if I paid a living wage, people nowadays, like they'll go to the next job for what they think is better, right? I mean, working for me, and if you get sick, I'm probably gonna I'm just guarantee I'm gonna be okay with it, right? Hey, I have to go take care of my mom today. She's got a doctor's appointment. Awesome, right? I mean, this isn't happening. I can't, but like now you go try to do that for anybody else. Like, and if you miss a whole week, I will guarantee that you have the literal $25 quick job to get quick cash. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, actually, all I really need is this job, and I'll pay you $200 for it, right? And it's, hey, why don't you go move a refrigerator for me? Right? I've already paid for that. All you have to do is just move the damn thing, and I'll pay you money. Okay. No, and just I go above and beyond for my guys so much.
Well, and I don't think this is a new trend, honestly, because everybody's like, well, nobody wants to work now. But Steve, 50 years. Did you run into this 50 years ago where people were like, all right, well, I don't really want to work very hard?
I don't care when it was in time. There's always going to be people that don't want to work.
Yep.
They'd like to have a job for you, but they really only want to work Friday at quitting time to pick up their check.
Yep.
But
That's very true.
And I'm gonna say some stuff here that probably is not gonna be politically correct. And I know it's first son of a bitch in time you've ever heard it. I'm sure of that.
Sure.
And I was very careful with my language, wasn't I, Mike?
It was close. I think you nailed it on that one.
And I'm not gonna blame the kids.
I will.
I won't.
I'm gonna blame the parents
Yes.
of those kids. If you're gonna treat your kid and raise them like a sissy, you're gonna end up with, you gotta teach kids good work ethics, teach them to be honest. The kids gotta know that they're gonna be loved and protected. And I'm not saying anything here that's rocket science. And
well, I mean, I don't want to argue, but I will, because that's who I am as a person. Say, honesty, I think that's the biggest key, right? It's one of the things that makes me more successful in this world than 99% of people.
do what you say you're gonna do.
Yep. A man's word is a man's word, and that's how I've always been.
Yep.
And also, like, you're not going to like what I have to say, but I'm going to tell you, and it's going to be truthful. You know how many times people have had to look at me and say, hey, Nick, why didn't this bottle move from here to here? And my answer is straight up, I didn't do it.
Yep.
It's not anybody else. I take full responsibility. I did not do that. That's what it is, right? Okay, hey, yep, but hey, let me stop whatever it is. Like, if you want an excuse, I'll give it to you after that. But like, otherwise, like, really, out of my mouth, first thing is, I didn't do it, right? But I will say, teaching your kid good work ethic, I don't know, because I think that you could really teach kids nowadays how to work less and invest a shit ton, and then they'll just be successful.
So I'm going to interrupt here. So, playing football, there was one thing that always happened that I would sit there and go, this is bullshit. Okay.
Up downs, yeah, fuck them.
No, I mean, so like when you screw up, okay, why didn't you block the guy in the A gap? Well, because I blocked this guy instead. All right, well, you fucked up. You were supposed to block this guy. You're an idiot. Know the fucking play.
Yep.
I'd always sit there and go, because coaches would say over and over again, I don't want to hear your excuse. Just fucking do it right.
Yep.
Okay. And I go, man, that's bullshit, because maybe you got a really good reason why you did the wrong thing. And then I became a coach. And I realized really fast that it doesn't matter if you had a good reason for why you did the wrong thing. Coach has heard every reason you're going to give him, and he doesn't give a shit anymore. He just wants you to do it right. And that took me a long time to learn.
I think as far as coaching goes, I tried to, you can get so much more, you can teach proper technique all day long, no question about it, and that's important, but you get so much more out of building a young man or a young woman's esteem and self-confidence than you ever will. And they could be the very best technician in the world. If they don't believe in themselves, you're not gonna get shit out of that. And I kind of adopted that. Now there was that one little incident. She told me she was 18. But I think we should probably move on from that.
So I had shared a TikTok with you two earlier. It was how they pick SEAL team members. And it said
Was it
something.
recent?
It was earlier today, so you might not have seen
I
it
haven't
yet.
looked at any of them yet.
So it was basically, we want high achievers that we can trust,
Yes, yes.
but they will take a low achiever that has a high trust factor
Trust factor.
over a high achiever with a low trust factor.
true.
Because at the end of the day, you need somebody you can trust. And I remember this, coaching for years. So there were times Caitlin was my starting shortstop. And I'd have catchers
Blew
that,
my mind.
didn't it?
Oh my gosh. Like
Because she's slow.
Hey, Kate, we got
slow.
a show going on here. You want to put your phone down? Pay attention.
It just, I mean, honestly, when I describe Caitlin, it's definitely not shortstop, right?
No,
Like,
she's like a first baseman or
if she had a better arm, it'd be a
corner
third baseman.
outfielder, yeah.
Right? Like,
so
it just,
I would have catchers that would go, I don't like Caitlin at shortstop. I throw the ball, but she doesn't always catch it. And I'd go, yeah, here's the deal. She's always in the right place.
Yeah.
And they'd go, yeah, but what does it matter? I'm like, if she misses the ball and she's in the right place, she's got 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
I can have somebody that'll catch the ball 100% of the time. If they're never in the right place, what the hell good is it?
what does it matter?
It doesn't do anything for me. I can trust her. She's going to go where she needs to go.
No, it's
Trust is a very big thing.
you got the tallest kid playing shortstop. I thought it was always a fun one.
How tall are you, Caitlin? 6'2"?
Yeah, 5'5". You only 5'7"? Really? I was gonna go 5'12". But
That'd be 6 foot.
5'12" and a half, maybe.
But I digress.
Hey,
If nothing else today, we're having a good time.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that's
much all this show really is. Half
Oh,
the time.
okay.
oh, this
we
shit-
do get into good information, but
Tidbits of knowledge and then a lot of.
a lot of it is fun. Yes,
this-
I can honestly say I think the Grand Armory had very little knowledge. It was Buck's knowledge and our drinking.
and the Brews team showed up, baby.
Yeah, I don't think this drinking thing hurts one little bit. at
It does
all.
not.
By the way, Caitlin, mine's
hurt
getting
me.
pretty low here.
I think he needs a refresher from you.
Have you been,
No,
have you
just-
been trained on how to make the brown wine?
I kind of showed it real quick.
You open the bottle, you pour it in, and he adds a little bit of ice.
More brown wine than anything else.
Yeah,
So
I got enough to get me by for a few minutes. Yeah.
so now you're building this business, and now so I want to kind of go back. You're building this business. One summer you have 3 crews, another summer you don't. So how was your learning curve in this business? I mean, because you weren't raised in the building.
Well, my family have always been carpenters and stuff. So
Okay.
my dad was remodeling and built his own house. My grandpa built his own houses. So I was around building ever since I was a little teeny kid.
Sure.
Wasn't really trying to learn anything. They'd give me a hammer and a nail and say, don't put your hand anywhere near the nail. I
Probably
learned a
best
lot of-
lesson you could learn as.
I learned a lot of things the hard way. That one little incident.
Yes. Yep.
I
But
thought that was a saw.
That's when you know it's the best shop teacher there is, right? So
I saw all these guys in front of me who started off and, after a couple of years, they were really doing good, really rolling, and they were starting to build spec houses and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember when it was, I'll say 1980, there was sort of a little recession hit, and they had like 2 spec houses in the house they lived in. And all 3 of those houses were for sale. Whichever one sold first, whether it was one of the spec houses or their own house, they had to move out of their own house
sure.
because they had financial commitments. I never borrowed money that I really knew that I was not in a position, no matter what happened, I knew that financially I would be okay with that.
So you were for the most part a debt-free company.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got a nice family.
Yeah, let's say that's good.
So, well, hey, I was good to them. They're good to me.
Yeah.
My mom's still alive.
Good for
She's 88. Hi, Mom. How you doing?
success right here. When you
I will say, Steve, when I was young, Mike will remember this, had the coolest bathroom.
Oh, yes.
Hmm.
I was going to actually bring that up.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yes. And that is, I mean, it was a cool bathroom, but it was the fact that he had the coolest toilet.
The coolest toilet ever.
And
Nick,
it did.
it was the coolest toilet.
It had
Had a
the
bidet?
tank and stuff, oh, you know.
on the top
Did
with
you
the chain.
And you
Yes.
swear at me right there?
Did I swear at you?
Yeah, that's, you said something.
He said bidet.
You called me.
Yeah. Say
a dirty rotten Frenchman is what you tried to call
that's
it.
exactly it. You had
He had the pull chain, yes.
Oh, so they still have that at Yesterdog.
Do they really?
Yeah, I was taking a leak there the other day when I was getting some getting hot dogs. And I was so excited. I was like, ching ching. I was like, man, who doesn't want to do this?
The only reason I was upset that Steve got rid of his house and moved into his mom's place
What's the toilet?
was the toilet.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, your house is way better now, but that toilet was awesome.
Yeah.
that was the best flushing toilet. What, well,
If it's too strong, it's Caitlin's fault.
Never bitched at anybody for making my drink too strong, so.
By the way, I will say that I got yelled at by my wife for the fact that Steve came up because he's precious cargo. And if he has any issues going home, she's gonna whoop my
Well, the
ass.
funny thing is I was sitting here going, damn it. Like, I thought we were going to be down there. I was down in Kalamazoo. I mean, really most of my day. I almost
I
didn't make
didn't know I screwed things up.
I almost
Yeah.
didn't make it because I was literally like coming back and I was like
Did you
and-
put any ginger on that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
the whole thing.
The whole
Let's
thing.
see.
So I don't think you get any more.
Sorry,
But,
we don't have more.
So I was, you know, I
It seems like it's a little strong.
That's a good drink. Good drink.
I passed the
Apparently I learned from the best.
what's the ice cream exit right there? Portage.
Plain
It
white.
would
Plainwell. There you go.
Plainwell.
I passed the damn Plainwell. One of the 15 Ps. I passed the Plainwell exit. And I'm sitting-
I love the fact that it's the ice cream exit.
And I'm sitting here just going, man, I could be down here already. I wouldn't have to drive all the way back. I wouldn't have to drive all the way over to this side of town. Like,
Well, I thought, honest to God, I thought I was doing you guys a favor by coming up
No,
here.
you-
oh no, you are. It's great. Thanks.
I had to drive further, but I drove from.
Mike's in Portage.
Well, hell,
Yeah.
we could have ridden together.
We could have.
Yeah.
Oh,
It would have given me an excuse to stop by,
Plainwell ice cream.
no, Old Mill and
Old
pick up
Mill.
some
Yeah.
beer from there.
And then stopped right down the road and got Plainwell ice cream. Brought it. We could have eaten that. on
They're not
TV.
open for
They're
another
not-
week.
yeah.
Are you serious?
They open March 1st.
I didn't even know they closed.
They open March
Oh, yeah.
1st.
Oh, I would have felt like a dumbass if I would have tried to show up.
I think.
You would have been
they
able to
could
drown your sorrow.
probably
Yeah.
Stay open. And I don't think they make a huge profit, but I believe they're good enough that they could
I think
stay
they would.
open.
Oh, I think
Oh,
they totally
could,
would.
Guaranteed.
I think they would.
They
you know-
work their ass off.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm partial because I grew up in Plainwell. Plainwell ice cream is the best ice cream in the state of Michigan.
No.
Period. End of story.
It's very good ice cream.
No, it's the best.
I don't remember the other one. There's another great one. Oh, the one in South Haven.
Mhm.
That one's really good.
It's not as good
Sherman's?
as Plainwell.
Sherman's. Yeah, Sherman's is really good ice cream.
I do like South Haven a
I
lot.
weighed 147 pounds.
Me too. When I was
And then-
two.
When one?
When I was two.
Well, then plain ice cream opened up. Look at me now.
You weigh 148
Don't worry,
pounds.
if you'd have stopped
My
at Plainwell
left
ice
leg
cream,
weighs
they'd have been
140
closed. You could have just
pounds.
drowned your sorrow next door. at
Yeah.
Old
Old
Mill.
Mill.
Yes.
I like Old Mill. Their food's just not
They're
the greatest.
hey,
I will tell you right now. So I love Old Mill because when I walk in there, it still smells like the old mill. And we used to get duck food from the mill.
Really?
That's where we went for the duck food
Huh.
because I had ducks growing up.
I'm gonna-
And
go ahead.
I don't know.
Like every normal kid does. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We had always like 8 or 10.
Not
or
not
whatever.
every normal kid had all the property and a pond and
I had a pond and 5 acres.
Yeah, I mean,
But
we didn't grow up rich, right?
I mean,
I'm over here on the struggle bus.
well, I mean, I really did not struggle as a kid.
We
Um,
we know.
Yes, we did talk about that. But yeah, we would go to the mill to get the corn
Yeah.
for the ducks, and it still smells the same.
So here's the fun thing about that, right? You had ducks growing up,
I
right?
did.
For being poor, what we did for fun was when Tractor Supply got their supply of chickens, we'd go play with the baby
them?
chickens for free, right? Like that's what we did for fun shit because it was free. So you're over here raising animals.
No, I remember a couple times we got the baby ducks, and that was just the best because they were just so damn cute.
You know, the snapping turtles love that too.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
We had some of them too.
You know, small point of history. My great grandfather worked with Lauren Darnell at the feed mill.
Really?
Yep. He was born 4th of July, 1904.
Almost the year I was born. We were really close.
You know,
Really
you
close.
look good.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna say only
For 120 years old.
84
Yeah, I was
years
gonna
off.
say, I'm gonna need a little help with the age.
Only,
Yeah.
only 84 years off. That's okay, but we're close.
Yeah.
I will say, you know, growing up in Plainwell, you either knew a relative of Steve's or you knew his best friend. It didn't matter who it was. If you ran into him and you're like, hey, do you know Steve Henderson? And they're like, oh, that's my uncle, or that's my cousin, or that's my brother, or he's my best friend. Everybody.
Yeah.
So these are my favorite Steve stories, by the way. So I'm working at Wendy's. I'm 16 or so, and
With
Mike gets his first introduction to Steve, and we worked with a girl who I
This
don't
was
like.
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. Yes, we worked with a girl I don't like, and she's like, "Yeah, Steve's annoying," and we're like, "Fuck you." And Mike and I are like, "Hendi is God."
Just there it was.
So we literally said that every time we worked with this girl the next 2 fucking years, and she got pissed. Do you want to know what Steve's email address is?
Hendi is God.
Hendi is- Is it really?
I can't remember anything. You should, whenever, you know, you're doing this, you have to do it on the phone for
Yep.
stuff. And I give them that, and at the end of that, there's a pause. I says, I know what you're thinking. I said, I would not be that presumptuous. My football players made that for me. And 98% of the time I get a chuckle out of that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's
and I
great.
still have that.
The Hendi thing came from, so we would go to, you know, our, what do you call those things at school?
Bars. Oh, no, school. Okay.
Pepper alleys. I was trying to find bars, pepper alleys, same thing, right?
Yeah.
We would go to the pepper alley, and you know, it'd be going into a big game, Three Rivers or Pittsburgh or Otsego, it didn't matter. And they would do these skits. And one of them that we absolutely loved was the great Hendi would come out and he would give a prediction on the game. And he had the robe. I mean, he looked like Karnak from Johnny Carson. He'd have the robes on and he comes out and they're like, here's the great Hendi, and he's going to give us the prediction for the game. And mind you, the prediction, even when it was a 2-8 football team, was Plainwell's going to win by 85. And we would just get so damn excited.
Oh, what a
And
good time.
we just held on to that. And literally when Mike and I were at work and they're like, yeah, Steve's annoying. We're like, fuck you. He's awesome. Hendi is God.
You guys were too young. You just hadn't learned what I really was like. There is some.
And then we created our own
videotape-
religion called Hendyism.
We did.
There's some videotape or some film of those Hendi is God things out there somewhere. Somebody has some of that. I
Oh, yeah.
Really. would
It was
love
on the
to get
internet. It
some
won't
of
ever
that.
go away. It's somewhere. Our top 10 lists are somewhere.
It's somewhere. We had such a good time with Steve. And honestly, he was always the best sport about it. He's like, yeah, they're weird. But
No,
I still love them.
Yeah.
no, I was the one that had the best time. I learned, so everybody says, oh, you taught us so much. I didn't teach you guys shit.
You say that, but it's not true.
It's true.
The other coaches will say, yeah, you caused more trouble than you did good.
Well, yeah, but they're not that bright. So, at the end of the day, again, so we were talking about this before we got on air. Steve said to Caitlin, he goes, when did I meet you? You were what, like 4.5, 5 years old? And Nick wants a drink.
Oh,
I'm enjoying this.
you know what?
Dude, I
This
told
is
you this
the
was going to be our
first
best
thing
one.
in the world.
On top of the fridge, Caitlin.
If there's none in the fridge.
I brought you the last 3 in the
Oh,
fridge.
nice.
So,
I'll be back.
all right, we'll
He
be
said
here.
it's not strong enough.
I needs more ice to water it down.
It's a little strong.
I'm gonna tell you, when we get done, get a minute here, I'm gonna tell you a doctor story.
All right.
So
I can't wait for that. Go ahead, Nick.
no, all right. So Steve, now you build this business.
Yep,
Now, do you have kids?
I have a son and a daughter.
Okay, and so you thank you. You raise a family
Okay.
off of a business, right? And
Yep.
and so you're making enough money. What's the number one thing, please? What's the number one thing that you bought with all of your money? I mean, did you buy a fast car, a Ferrari?
Uh,
While he's sitting here talking,
What's the Corvette? I mean,
I'm
come
telling
on.
you right now, I am still heated over this.
Oh, he bought
He
a
sold
57
my
Chevy.
Mustang.
Well, you bought a Mustang fastback.
I wanted that Mustang more than anything in my life.
Well,
And he
should've bought it.
sold the damn thing. I didn't even know it was for sale. I would have bought it. Steve, talk about your Mustang for a minute.
It was just a car that a local Plainwell man fixed it up and he did a wonderful job. He did like, I don't know, 12 different Mustangs. And it was just his wife told him, she says, well, he said, what do you think, honey? And she says, it's beautiful. He says, good, I think I'm gonna keep it. She says, go ahead. I'm moving out then.
See you.
And I just happened to hear about it. And I told Yvonne we should buy it, so we did. And it was wonderful, beautiful.
What
beautiful
color?
car. Teal, would it be a teal?
Oh.
gray?
Teal blue, teal green.
Yeah.
Nick, it was
What year?
gorgeous.
What year is this Mustang?
1968.
Oh, even gorgeous Mustang.
It
Yeah.
turned everyone's head. Mind you, it was not his favorite car.
What was your
We'll
favorite?
get to the favorite one in a minute, but it turned everyone's head. They saw this car and they're like, oh my God, that thing's gorgeous. I wanted it so bad.
Sounds like you and I need to go out and buy new cars because I used to have a 77 Corvette.
Obviously.
Steve
you
doesn't
have
buy
money
new
to-
cars.
Obviously, what?
You have money.
No, I'm broke, but we have your money to spend.
Oh, I pissed mine away out in a brown wine.
Yeah, that's okay. Somebody will give us a loan. Shit.
Steve, what is
Nobody in my town will me.
your favorite
Oh,
car?
in your area? Actually, I know people that own dealerships in your area.
I do too. What is your favorite car, Steve? Because I know the answer.
I have a 1964 Plymouth Belvedere, but actually my favorite car is a 64 Sport Fury. My mother bought one because the family needed an extra car when I started driving.
Sure.
She said, we're gonna share this car. And I shared it with her for about a week.
Say 6 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it was a wonderful.
You still own
wonderful
it?
car. Nope, nope.
He still has the Plymouth.
Yeah, I've had the Plymouth for 40 years.
Wow. Okay.
I do think that he promised somebody in this room they could drive the Plymouth once. No, it wasn't you, Nick.
It was me.
All you gotta
Steve,
do
thank
is
you so
show
much.
up.
Damn, Caitlin's over here.
Show up, Caitlin, drive the Plymouth.
So-
Yvonne asked me about you. I said, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Caitlin moved away. I haven't seen her in such a long time.
I will say, she made a special point to go to somebody's 50th wedding anniversary.
You've been married 50 years?
No, she hadn't been married that long.
You.
Oh, excuse me. I got confused.
Does your wife know?
Yeah,
doesn't.
Shit.
She's a home. She should be done crying by now.
He's the best person.
Mm,
Like,
that's not true.
you've been married 50 years,
50 years.
had a 50-year successful business.
My brother's age. My brother is 50 now.
Wow.
Your brother's 50?
I'm 47.
Oh my God, you're so old.
I didn't even know your mother. I know where you're going with this.
So now you said you talked about a recession in about 1980.
Yep.
That was the end of Carter, beginning Reagan. We did have a recession then.
And so now what about the 08 2010 time?
Recession?
Yeah, I mean, right, that's an actual
Yeah, how
recession.
did you weather that?
Okay, as far as my business went, I was very, very fortunate that my business always stayed pretty much the same.
Really?
Yep. Well, I never, everybody wanted to, I want to build a subdivision. Not that I didn't want to do that. And I looked into it, but I just never, ever could quite put it together. So I stuck with remodeling and.
Okay, so you never really did the spec houses like your family and all that. You just did-
Well, no, that's not totally true either. They didn't do spec house. They'd buy an older home, clean it up, fix it up and sell it.
okay,
That's what I have done.
that's what I do.
I know.
Not often. So now, did you do it for yourself or for other people?
For myself.
Okay, so you'd go out and find a deal cheap enough and then fix it up and then sell it for, which you and I both know that we don't make any money doing that, right? I mean,
Well, I mean,
that's a sucker's game.
wait a minute. Let's,
Yeah.
do we look like we got shit to you guys? We got nothing.
It's like, I can't even afford a fucking beard cut.
If we had
It's like-
money, we'd be doing the same show from the Bahamas.
Oh,
Shit.
we will be doing a show from the cruise.
Oh, well, yes, I'd love to be a guest host.
Yes, come on the cruise
on the
with us. You
cruise.
can be a guest.
So
I'm going to ask this because I know the answer.
yeah,
Steve, you've made a lot of investments in your life. What's the best paying investment you've ever made?
Real estate.
what do you mean by that?
Buying a older home, fixing it up. But renting it out a few years and then selling it. And,
See, and gosh, that's so. Now, why would you rent it out a few years?
well, there are tax laws.
No shit.
I've heard of them.
Huh? Yeah. So I've been making that mistake lately. Doing because I should be holding these damn things for 2
You
years.
really
always
should be.
say hypothetically speaking.
No, this is a factual statement. My
Oh,
accountant
okay.
literally has already told me that I screwed up.
I
So
I
had,
know your accountant.
I just have to learn. Oh, you do? That's right.
Yes, because her daughter played softball for me.
Yeah, that's right.
I had a old high school buddy, his firm, Gilball and Gilball out of Kalamazoo,
Yeah.
kept me straight and on the narrow. They won't admit to it, but they kept me out of jail.
That's great. Like, that's what I rely on my accountant for. I tell like I bitch about how much I pay in my accountant. I never bitch to her, right?
Right.
So
You
if
just
she's-
bitch to everybody else.
And I'm like, God dang, because when you're
Yeah.
writing a
yeah, I know.
when you're writing a check to the government for some money, or when you're paying your account, because when I first had my accountant, right, the first one was, oh, Nick, I love you. You're great. Here's this one. This one's, dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Second one, hey, this is a wedding gift. Third one, I might have paid, enough for lunch, right? And now all of a sudden,
And
like,
now it's bend over.
right, like I'm paying money, and I'm like, wait, what the hell just happened? Like you're like when people say the rich get richer, I'm like, fuck this. You know how much I'm paying for my accountant?
I am hopeful that we don't have to pay
Yeah.
because our accountants.
You out of here?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the
Oh,
beer.
she's leaving.
What? No, you're not going.
Yeah.
Just
So,
you gotta
I got
go
a
eat.
feeling this is not gonna be a half-hour show. I think this
No,
might
it's
be
not.
longer.
Who said it was a
This is
half
gonna
hour?
be long.
I don't know, maybe I made that up.
I think so.
Well, if you
Probably already
guys
was
go,
going
yeah.
for a half hour.
It
at
was a
least.
half-hour drive.
Good to see you.
You too.
But
Bye, Caitlin.
Bye.
come back on and tell us about your financial success
At some point.
very,
Yeah.
very soon.
Bye-bye.
This chair fit you.
Let's say. So
She's a good kid.
She is a good kid.
sometimes, other times she leaves us halfway through a show.
Well, I mean, she wasn't on this show. She was
She
just sitting
was-
here watching.
She was for a couple minutes.
Hey, you
that's
know
true.
what? She got a couple of those drinks.
Yeah, let's say. So
She
Not
did
our
bring.
fault, the
She
other guys
brought
are
you
too slow.
2 or 3 beers.
she brought me a beer.
Not a beer. She
Bought
bought
you
you at least 3. because 2 of those are closed.
Friends like you assholes. I don't need.
Yeah,
any.
you're right. I'm a shitty friend.
When my wife asked, she brought me a beer.
Your wife doesn't listen to this.
I know, but when she
Okay.
asked how many beers did you
When
have?
she asks, I'm gonna say you had 1.
2. First and the last. Always remember that.
When I was young like you guys, I could get away with that shit from my wife too.
See?
She quit asking.
Gosh, when did that happen? Because I can't wait.
So I know
Hold
this.
on, I'm waiting for the most important answer in my life.
About
I've been-
38 years ago.
Son of a bitch, so I'm close. I've been married 12 years. He's been married 50. I can do the math. Holy shit balls. This is the
Wow.
greatest.
Mind you, this year I've been married 20 years.
And she still asks this question?
No, she goes, I know when you're drunk because I can see in your eyes.
She just goes, Steve, I'm loving this.
She just calls me out.
This is
All I
greatest.
know is I get bottles from somebody here,
My
And-
wife.
and he goes, she's been hitting her hard lately. I got a lot of bottles for you. And I'm like, okay,
If you had to live with me, you'd drink too.
Shut
probably.
You know, don't take offense to this, David.
Yes, sir.
You can't hide it when you've been drinking very well.
No,
Yes, I
no
know.
shit, really, David, of all people.
It's kind of right on my face.
Or, you know, on the ground
floor.
with you.
It might be on the ground. I do
I-
fall down a lot when I'm drunk.
broke my new Lego
In
thing.
the bathtub.
At
your house.
I have fallen in the bathtub at Nick's. I've fallen near the side of Nick's garage.
No.
It sounds like you're doing a lot of drinking in my house.
I do drink a lot at Nick's house.
So, what time we going?
Say,
Well, we gotta wait for the pool to open because once the pool opens, all bets are
I
off.
thought you were, yeah,
Is
so
that later on tonight? or-
It might be.
keep it up.
It's getting warm enough.
So we so now taxes. So now you
Oh,
were
okay,
you were
okay.
you were now you flipped them or did you so you rented
Okay.
them? Did you manage yourself as a rental?
Yeah, well, we never
Sounds like
had,
depression.
probably, we had a 3-unit one time.
A 3-unit one time. Okay.
We usually stuck with individual units, you know,
Single family
units,
house.
and,
Yep.
I don't know, I'm a lot like my grandpa.
Okay.
A lot of people are gonna say that this is bullshit and it's a lie. But I've been a hard worker. And I've been afraid, when I get ahead, I've been afraid to take chances.
Shit, you and me
with that
both.
Money. Until I met, well, I'm not gonna say, because we don't need lawsuits here. But a financial advisor up in Kalamazoo
Sure.
handed him a pile of frickin' money.
Yep.
I didn't quite get
He
as big a pile back.
He didn't really.
But
Okay.
that's all right.
You
Much
know what?
smaller pile back.
It taught me.
What is it? Anywhere
a lot of
equivalent to the
things about
grain?
life.
So.
Because I don't, I love mentioning the grain.
Oh my God! Don't fucking take me there, Steve. Have I told you about the fucking rain?
I'm gonna say no.
You had Fulton as a
Oh,
investment person for a little bit, like
Fulton?
10 or 12 minutes.
no, actually, I had Fulton for quite a while. Fulton never did anything to hurt me that bad.
So 2007,
Okay.
he talked both my mother and my aunt into buying grain because the world was ending.
God, I didn't know. I wish I'd have known. I'd have probably gotten.
Yeah.
No, you don't wish you would have known because they bought fucking grain.
Yeah, but what's it worth now?
Well, let's see. I think my mother put about 13 or 14,000 into grain, and it's worth a robust $2,000.
Wait a minute. She related to that guy? in
I think he
Kalamazoo?
might be.
That's how-
She's been trying to get rid of this motherfucking grain
I'll give her.
since before my aunt died. Nick, you went shooting with my aunt. It was June of 15. My aunt tried to sell this shit in 14.
I'll give her 20 cents on the dollar. So if she wants $200, I'll give her $200 for her $2,000.
Right now, she
gets
gets
cash.
50 cents on the dollar because somebody else is paying the storage fees. And when it sells, they get 50%.
Well, I'll give her 20 cents on it.
But like I mentioned, when we were at Grand Armory, what you do is you do that and then you give them the grain and then in return for a whole lot of beer.
I
Oh,
would
think
take
Grand Emerald
that
will take
deal.
that all day.
I would totally take that deal.
So
Because I'm going to tell you right now, the shit that she did,
yeah,
not a happy guy.
Can I jump in here? just for a
Absolutely.
second?
please do.
Okay. I'm gonna give.
He said, "You guys don't know what the hell you're doing."
That may be true.
Who said what?
What?
I don't know shit.
You know more than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well. If I'm so smart, how come we're not all on that boat right now doing this interview?
Well, that is a good question because we should be on that boat right now.
Well, anyhow,
Well, in October, we could be on that boat doing this.
True story.
what time is it? 6:30?
Gosh,
6:48.
6:48.
I don't think that we'd have to have an awful fast jet.
Yes, we would.
I know people.
Okay, we're gonna be cutting this short. We gotta leave. Thank you. for
We're
the
getting on a
time.
boat.
Right.
Sorry, work. I'm not coming in tomorrow.
My experience with money and investing, there are a few good, not when somebody tells you they know the market inside and out and they know exactly what move to make, get your ass up out of that chair and say thank you and get out the door as quick as you can. Because you know the market just as much as you know throwing dice up at the casino. And by the way, I've lost quite a bit of money up there on the dice.
I was gonna
table,
say,
too.
I've met these guys.
Yeah, those people who know either are, like you said, they know it as well as that, or they're in the process of wanting to do something really illegal.
Yes.
Well, I completely agree, but so you throw craps too, huh? Because I've walked up and I hear this guy just every time. Yo, 11, 8. Granted, I got paid on my 8, right? I'm excited. Yo, 11, and I'm like, man, if you keep saying it, eventually you're gonna hit that shit, right? I mean, the odds are there, but like,
Yeah, you spent $350 and you won 47.
right,
Right.
and now you're so excited, and you think you're, God's gift to this because you hit it one time, and it's, all right.
Now, we'll get into the dice stories a little later.
Oh, I
wanna
love the
finish
dice
this
stories.
other thing. This is a life lesson. All these guys that say that, you read my book and I can teach you how to make millions. And I think I can get you guys to back me up on this. And as soon as you think I'm full of shit, just tell me to shut up and I'll stop. I'll make myself another drink and I'll sit here quietly. That was a lie too. But anyways, there's only one real way to make money. You just have to do a bunch of hard work. It's not, there's no magic way to make money unless you just get shit lucky.
Mhm.
Your parents are real rich and just work hard.
I mean,
Don't trust. There are certain people you can trust with your money, but do your own investigation along the way. Don't do like I did. There, go ahead. No, take everything I got. Make me a millionaire.
well, I find it to be really weird, especially with somebody like you.
Is that because I'm short?
And maybe I haven't figured out why
Am I
it
funny?
is this way.
Like
But-
a clown.
I look at it and say, okay, I personally, I'm 33 years old, still very old in my life.
Yeah, you're real fucking
But
old.
I do feel like investing in the stock market for the long period of time is still a good way. There's a chance when I get to,
If I was 33 years old, every stock, I never had any money to invest until I was about your age.
sure,
And I didn't have a lot of it.
sure,
I never, ever bought a stock that I didn't make money on,
sure,
but I got greedy, wanted to make more. And if you've got time,
yep,
like you guys do, invest. And if the country goes to hell and the stock market falls that bad, money is the least of your worries.
that's true, right?
Even with the 2008 crash,
Yep.
if you left your money there, for the most part, you were gonna make money
Leave your
in the
money.
long run.
Leave your money.
If your financial advisor left you with any money to leave.
Correct. I mean, you had to basically say,
Hypothetically.
you had to basically say to the financial advisor, fuck off, just leave my shit there. 'Cause
Leave it.
I will tell you right now, I got the same phone call my mother and my aunt got.
Yeah.
And they go, the world is ending.
Yeah.
You need to move your shit to grain. And I went, fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave my money right where it's at. And mind you, who made money?
Right. Well, that's what, my grandfather had the same problem happen. My mom had an issue for a little bit, right? Like,
By the way, I love your grandpa.
yeah, and it was, they went with the wrong financial advisor. Granted, I don't think anybody had the right one at that time because, right, nobody had seen it before because
Yeah.
they're, all right. So the people who'd seen it before were people who were Steve's age, now
Way older.
already retired,
Yeah.
out of this game.
Thank you. 'Cause he
Way
called-
old. I know he
he
did, but
just called
way
me an old
older.
fuck, didn't he?
The only people
Didn't
that
he?
saw 2008 were the people that were alive in 1928.
Yeah.
So
He was
mind you,
called
my
Bob Marley
grandmother,
back then.
But you
my grandmother was born in 1927. Ask me when she died.
2007,
2008.
2008.
right, but
So she never saw any of that.
but you look at, there's been lows, right? We talked about the 80s. I mean, there's been some
Well,
low
There's always
times.
gonna be.
Yeah, and
I
like
think
that's
this
how
year might be
Yeah.
one of them.
hey, knock on wood. I mean, trust me, my betterment looks, honestly, my freaking, it was funny because I looked at it, my $15 in crypto,
Yeah,
looks like $13.20
Yeah.
last I checked.
everything's going down right
Um,
now. And
But,
But it was
I don't
free
need-
$15.
I don't
It
need-
was.
But you know what's not going down?
What?
Real estate.
it's not. You're right.
Yet.
It will
But-
at some point, because again, we're in an overblown market. And at some point that's going to crash too.
Sure.
But
Everything has to have a high, right?
well, I mean, Scotty, when I talked to him about Caitlin's place,
Yeah.
I said, I'm really worried about the crash. And he goes, all right, when did you buy your house? I said, I bought my house in 2007.
Yeah.
He goes, all right, the crash happened in 2008. What'd you do? I'm like, what do you mean? I paid my house. He goes, right. You paid the mortgage just like it was every other month. I said, yeah. He goes, okay. And 3 years later, how much was your house worth? I'm like, well, it went from 130 to 100,000 and then it went up to like 150. He goes, and what'd you do? Well, I paid my mortgage. He goes, okay, so what exactly are you worried about with Caitlin? Is she going to pay her mortgage? I'm like, well, of course she is. He goes, then why are you worried if the market crashes after she buys her place?
And especially right now. So like one thing, and I think that you don't see it because it's your own kid and from
Right.
the outside looking in, being a real estate investor. When I ask her, hey, how's your, is your tenant paying and stuff? Sure. Like you can budget. And it's funny because like you and I can both fudge numbers to make
Yes.
things look amazing,
Yes.
right? Like we are great at that.
You could make me look thin.
Yes, 100%,
Yes.
right? Like this is,
This could.
I'll
be
just stand up
great,
next. I'll
man.
stand up next to you and people will be like, God damn, Steve's not that big. Like if your wife met me and she'd go, Steve, I'm so sorry for giving you crap about losing weight. You look amazing. I'm like this, you're welcome. I make you look pretty as shit.
These guys know. I don't think she's gonna say that.
Yeah, she'll look at me and she'll
I've
just
hated
go,
you for a long time.
she'll
I'm
look at me
getting
and she'll
outta
go,
here.
damn, he don't miss a meal, huh? And she'll go, man, his wife must know how to cook real good.
I'm
But
going to
yes,
tell you right now,
but-
she would
Don't tell
go,
it goes.
all of you people are a pain in the ass.
But I will
think
say,
that's a true statement.
I think it is too.
what I will say is, you would throw all of Caitlin's extra money at like her expenses and oh hey, you paid this, and I'm sitting here going, no, F that 450 that guarantees right towards that mortgage. Pay that mortgage, pay that mortgage, pay that mortgage, and you're like, no, she's like expensive, and I'm like, no. So the past 6 months, she's had less of a mortgage payment, right? So I think she should move a whole other person in, move her ass to the couch. Like this is who I am, right? Get rich the easy way.
There is no get rich the lucky way.
There's a luck. I mean, I'm the luckiest person.
Your mom and dad.
I don't know, we
told
could
you?
go with Ummer. Ummer, I would say,
My parents
with a
both
lot
do.
of sacrifices has.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
I will agree with Mike here. Ummer
Yeah.
is probably the smartest of all of us.
Oh yeah.
And I won't get into that on the air because I don't think he will like it.
No,
No,
but
we don't
yeah.
want to hurt
I will-
anybody's feelings.
I will say, so I know my mom's net worth right now, because she went through a bunch of financial stuff recently. She's now on disability and she'll be 59 and a half in like 3 months. So
See, her money is not really her biggest problem in her life.
it
Her health is her biggest problem. in her
correct.
life.
But it's weird because you need the money to get by. I mean, right? So like I had to figure out if I was going to tap into her 401k just to get her enough money to get by and how much I had to draw off. And I had to do all this pain in the ass. Anyway, so come to find out, she actually ended up getting disability. So now the government, me, you, all of us pay for my mom. Thanks,
Wait a minute,
everybody.
Your mom paid for that for a long,
100
long
Yeah.
time.
Yep, 49 years working at Steelcase
Yeah.
or whatever the hell it
Oh,
was.
really?
43 years.
Good
Yeah.
to your mom.
Yeah, thank you. But so she's good. So that being said, like, okay, I know her net worth. Granted, I haven't talked to my father in a long time. I know that we talked about it last week on air.
We did.
I used to give my father and his wife money to pay medical bills. Like, I know what his house is worth. I know he doesn't have a 401k. He doesn't, if he were to pass, I'm still paying for that funeral, right? So looking at it, my net worth is more than my sister, my brother, my mom, my dad, my grandpa combined.
Yes.
I have three generations.
3 generations.
Yeah.
That happens. Money. I took those away. You just made me nervous. I'm sorry. That happens, and you'll see that like when I was 18 years old.
Sure.
My grandma and grandpa were the richest people I knew. And
Mine too.
Mine
Yeah.
too.
and my other grandma and grandpa would have been, but he lost his fortune twice. They lost, this is back in the old days,
Sure.
way back. A place caught on fire, 6 houses from them.
No,
Well, as the horses pulled the fire engine up there, and they just couldn't stop it in time.
Sure.
And they didn't have the insurance like that back then.
Sure.
But where he really lost his money is his wife got cancer.
Mhm.
And he spent almost every penny he
Mhm.
had to try to get her well, which couldn't do.
It sucks.
But
Well, that's the
was an
scary
eye
part now. I
doctor.
mean, that you're talking about when you were like 18. So that's, a decent number of years ago. We won't do the math.
We'll say like 7.
Damn near
We'll
12
we'll
years old.
we'll say it was like 1985.
No, I'm just saying,
My ass.
hey, but I'm just saying,
If it matters, I wasn't born still.
I will say he's basically my mom's age.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
but
but
we're still talking about, you're, even if, you were my age and
Yeah,
it had been
whatever,
30
it
some
doesn't
odd
matter.
years.
Yep.
Yeah. The fact that
a
it's
medical
a
condition.
yeah, it's a problem that happened, 30, 40 years ago is still a problem.
It happens
Today.
every generation.
Yeah. Every
Yeah.
medical debt causes people to,
So I'm gonna say this because I say this shit all the time. We really need to move off of the for-profit healthcare system
I would agree.
because it's horse shit.
I would agree.
No,
It's horse shit.
no.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if we moved off of the
Do you work for
For-profit
do you work for a
health
nonprofit?
system.
Do you work for a nonprofit?
I do.
Does my wife work for a nonprofit?
She does, but I'm gonna tell you right now,
Who
it
has
would-
fucking more money?
it
Them or
would-
me?
it would put me out of a job, but we still need to move off. that
Them or
shit.
me?
Well, you have more money.
Then the company you fucking work
Oh,
for?
not the company.
Oh, I'm
no.
sorry. So for profit, my ass.
I work for a company who makes its money on the fact that it costs basically $1 billion to create and bring a new drug to market.
Yep.
No, I'm stupid.
Regardless of the disease state. And I still would agree that if,
Do you work for Pfizer? Jesus.
He does
No.
not.
It's like
but again, I would still agree that I think if we made, because I mean, yeah, a part of it is the fact that basically you can just set a market for, I want, this, clinical trial in humans to cost $3.5 million. When you could really say, okay, if, our volunteers, especially when you're getting into like the, phase 2 and 3, where it's actually in the patients and you're not, the patients are getting a little bit of compensation potentially for participating in the study. Not a lot. I mean, what they're getting more than anything is the benefit of
Yeah,
the drug
or not.
or not. But I mean, yeah, you could easily say, okay, we're going to cut the cost of this in half or by a quarter or whatever.
I can't wait for the study that I was in for my
For your acid reflux.
I cannot wait for that drug to get approved.
That is a.
Did that help?
Big,
That
big
the acid the one I
problem.
was on. Oh my god, whatever I'm on now can suck it. Like
The funny part is, what phase was it of a study?
I have no idea. And I asked them if they'd tell me if it came out so I can get approved, and I don't remember what they said. That was
Were
probably.
you in a double-blind study?
I don't know what that means, but no.
And
I
they
was
did
gonna ask you-
they do a very good job of your informed consent if you don't know what kind of study.
Do you
were
think
in.
I listened?
Nick paid zero
Okay,
attention.
you
Mike.
you did sign some forms
Yeah, he just signed his name. Mike, you've known Nick, right?
because you may have gotten the standard of care and not the drug.
No, I got the
Yeah.
drug. So okay, so the
Okay, so it might have been open label if you
in-
knew you got the drug.
in my okay, so I got the drug because they said, hey, this is what it normally does. So it was I didn't have a choice not to get a drug. So it was like I either
Well,
got Prilosec or the drug.
Well, if you're not in a phase 1, which is basically healthy volunteers, just to look at pharmacokinetics. or
No,
whatever.
this has already been like approved in Japan.
Yeah.
So
You were in either a phase 2 or phase 3,
Yeah.
and then you're either on the drug or you're on whatever the standard of care is. You'd still be considered a placebo for that drug, but you're
Oh,
on
sure.
the standard of care.
okay, yeah. So that's what I was on. I guess was like it was either Prilosec or the drug.
Yeah.
So,
And they're like,
so-
hey, we found that the drug takes like 2 weeks versus Prilosec takes this long. And then come to find out, hey, I was healthy pretty quick. And I was like, I felt great as a
so
person.
let me ask this.
Now I'm dying.
Because Mike just said this. Does this mean you're Japanese now?
I think I'm turning Japanese.
Do you like
I
it?
was so hoping you would go into that song.
I think I'm turning Japanese.
No,
But do you like it?
I really
do we
think
have to
so.
be politically correct here? Can we
We're
just
not
go-
overly politically correct.
I say, just want to be careful.
I know that in an episode a few weeks ago with Jack Razor, I literally made a joke for one person in the world, and he's sitting over there.
That concert was the other day.
It was the other day.
I wanted to go.
I know somebody that went, and I said,
Did Jack
hey.
Razor go?
Jack Razor did not, but I know somebody else that went, and I said, hey, Twin Towers, by the way, I'm out in their ass right now. Twin Towers, you should sit there and go, hey, pay your fucking artist, you motherfuckers.
Mhm.
I don't know about anybody else, but I understood that.
Right. Let's say go pay the person that makes your art.
And so we had a friend of ours on that does artwork. And
He made this.
he made that.
Your beard?
Yes.
And the banner behind you. Well, I mean, he didn't make the banner.
Behind
He
you.
made the artwork for the banner.
And
Hopefully he's gonna make my
Foolish, I
tattoo.
didn't-
He
I
is gonna
don't
make
know.
your
I should have
tattoo.
wore it on shirt. I could have easy,
he
It's okay.
so he did some fan art for this band called Twin Towers, and he talked to them, and they were really cool, and they're like, hey, make our next tour t-shirt. So he made like 8 different mock-ups of this t-shirt. So instead they used something that he had done a year prior and paid him not a fucking thing for it. So we had him on the show because why not? And he refused to mention the name of the band.
Yeah.
So I sat here like an asshole just naming other bands. So I named like, hey, the Rolling Stones really should pay Jack Razor for his thing. And the last one I said was, hey, Mott the Hoople should really pay for it. And Nick goes, the fuck is Mott the Hoople? And
I
I
was gonna
said,
say, there's a lot of people that.
You should have gone with Lone Rangers.
I should have.
Strat.
I should have. But I'm like, yeah, Mike will know who Mott the Hoople is. And they have a, one-hit wonder from a David Bowie song. And Nick goes, great. Now we're doing fucking jokes for one person in the audience. And I went, yep.
You know, I don't want to get super, super serious because I'm having a really, really good time here.
Good.
But what the big problem is with medical, with business, with people, everybody is getting greedy. Everybody wants to make a killing off of every single thing they do. They don't really care about anybody else. And this is just the way the world works. And we're not going to be able to change it.
I agree. I agree with most of the things that you have to say.
I don't know if it's the way the world works.
As David says, I am an anomaly in David's eyes.
You are. You really are. You're the exception to the rule.
I think it's what makes me successful.
I would agree.
You're honest.
I don't go out and try to get the most out of everybody on a constant basis. I don't push things.
Nick, as a landlord, has some of the lowest rents in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, in Grand Rapids for sure. So actually, I have a
Grand
rental.
Rapids, Wyoming.
I have a rental right now.
Yeah.
It's a studio in Lansing. It's not mine. It's
Okay.
when I'm renting for. It is officially lower than what I have for rent.
You
But
what
it's a
that's
studio.
called? That's called a smart businessman.
He is
We
quite
hope
a
and
smart
pray.
businessman.
So, but so I guess I will say is
I was talking about the big companies.
no,
I wasn't talking.
I get it. No, and but that's it. So now,
Hi, David.
yeah, say David said he's leaving us. Now I get Steve to myself. Steve, so
Not fully yourself.
you would flip these houses, right? But it would take 2 years to flip them.
It took a lot longer than that usually.
Okay, and then how many did you have at a time? What was the most renters you had?
The most renters we ever had were probably 2 families and a young kid.
So you
I
only
usually-
did one house until you sold it and then did
Pretty
another
much
house?
once in a great while, we'd have a little, you gotta remember, I've been doing this for like 35 years, so it's a long time.
Longer than you've been alive.
God, how old am I? 30? I am 33. I'll be 34 in July. But
You
so
thought I was 40, didn't you?
honestly, Steve, I really only
I
thought
would've
you were
put you
about
at 38 and a half.
I only thought you were about 50 years old. So
My shoes are older than 50 years.
I feel it. So you would
That's when they made good shoes.
you
Because
would
now you
wouldn't
can't have a
flip
shoe
houses
license.
then.
Yeah, I guess that's what you said. We didn't
But it
really
was
know
long
that's what
term.
we were
But it was
doing.
long term though. So like,
Yeah.
did you ever go in, fix a house up, and then just instantly sell it instead of renting it out? Because you played the game of renting it to
Never.
lower your taxation,
Yep, that's exactly.
right? Because so just to let everybody know who's still listening and watching, so me personally, I have to pay a capital gains tax, right? Which is 33% on anything that's done within a year. And then it goes down to my own personal taxation rate. I think capital gains is actually 15%, right? On top of what my personal income rate is, which according to the federal government, they owe me money. Now, I'm just kidding. But so if I'm the average person that's making 50,000 and I go flip a house because that's the fun thing to do, now I pay capital gains of, the highest tax rate there is. I get penalized for making money, and then I still pay my personal taxes on it. Now, and the thing that's bothering me right now is everybody's like, yeah, but there's all these loopholes. These loopholes because they also have a opposite of a loophole. They overtax you on stuff, right?
I don't think you and I have too many loopholes.
Say, if I can 1031 it, sure, I can prolong my taxes, but who gives a shit about that when literally there's a million people who have flipped a house and they're paying 40-something% taxes on this thing. Like, it's just astronomical to me. I was a dumbass and just did it. Say why? Because I wanted the quick money. And I'll pay for it next year. And I can't. Now, did you ever 1031 your money?
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Did you prolong your paying your taxes from a flip
No.
into the same asset class or better? So
Oh, you mean like buy a house and take that money and buy another one?
correct.
We always wanted to do that, but we just never seemed to get around to do it.
Sure. I say, and I have an 8-unit, right? I've done it.
You have to do it within so many months or something like that.
You have 6 months to declare what property you want to do, and then within, time after that to
No,
put the money to work.
we never got into a position where we really could do that. Usually, my wife and I,
Was she in the business?
if I'd have brought, yes.
She
If
was.
I would have brought her in to help me much earlier, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Where would you retire to?
No, I'd retire to the same exact spot.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't be retired in Michigan. Of course, today is a day, good day. But this
40
snow
degrees,
is
yeah.
getting to be such a bunch.
Are you
of
where
bullshit.
are you a Florida guy or an Arizona guy?
Actually, we like Arizona pretty good.
Yeah.
Florida, no, I'm gonna break away from the stuff here.
Please have
It's
fun.
kind of like a history lesson.
I hate his. Real quick, sorry, I don't mean to
Go
stop
ahead.
you.
No,
Do you have gosh, what is it? It's it's not Netflix. What's the other one?
Hulu.
Hulu. Yeah. Do you have Hulu by chance?
No,
thank you.
he doesn't know what Hulu is, and he probably can't spell it.
That's okay.
Starts with an H.
I gotta figure out how to get
It's
Hey, I
like-
graduated.
It's
from
like
Plano. I don't
it's
give a
like
shit
hula
what-
hoop. It only ends with a U.
So you're gonna love this. We're gonna be talking about history here in 2 seconds.
Yep.
So I hate history. I think it's boring until I just watched the show called Drunk History.
I knew it. It was on Comedy Central.
Was it really?
It was.
So they get people drunk and then they talk about history. So please tell us some history because we're gonna drink and talk about history.
Drunk history.
I would
Bucks and Brew style.
love to tell you, but I forgot what the hell I was going to talk about.
Son of
Something
a
between
bitch.
Florida and
Something-
Arizona.
Yeah,
Okay,
Florida
okay.
and Arizona.
All
That's
right,
why
all
you're
right.
here, Mike. You're not only eye candy.
MVP,
I
Mike.
had no clue.
I
I
still
didn't
wanna-
know where that was. I was going to start yelling for Caitlin for another drink, but
Is there any
we
more
were
burners?
very fortunate that let's see, around the age 35, we were able to start traveling. And my wife and I have traveled quite a little bit and very, very lucky.
Best place.
My family in Belgium,
I knew that was going to be the answer.
Oh shit. All right.
they'd never laid eyes on us when we went over there. They treated us like kings and queens.
I remember talking to Steve
We can
after
do a
that.
whole damn show
I think
on just
I think
that.
it's just in some cases the European personality because I
Our
mean
families have always
yes.
stayed in touch.
yes, because my mom has a lot of close relatives in Italy, and I mean they used
Why
to
the
live.
hell don't you go?
I
And why
want
the
to
hell
go.
haven't I gone?
Go.
By the way, I want to take a cruise in Italy.
I'm
just so
not-
you know, Italy and Greece.
I'm not
The whole
right
pandemic?
now. Right now, I'm not allowed to fly anywhere with my kids.
True.
Not yet.
You
So
must have the same parole officer I do.
Yes.
He does
yeah.
slightly different. Mine is ex-wife, not wife.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, it's okay.
We did a divorce episode. It's okay.
Yeah,
We
no.
did.
So
Mike was
But I
the
mean, but
star
it was
of
like
the
the same.
divorce
But I mean,
episode.
some of them used to live in the United States, so they already kind of knew each other, and they were actually
Oh.
lived in the Kalamazoo area. So they were already
oh, no
close.
shit.
But same thing, when they were there, it was just like, oh my God, we're going
How-
to take you to do this. We're going to take you to do that. You're going to
Yeah.
stay at our house.
Oh.
And
You'll eat like a pig and
Mhm.
drink like a fish.
How do I do this? Just gotta know people.
I'm gonna tell you right now, none of my relatives are anywhere except for one place I don't want to fucking go.
I'm going.
Persia.
No.
Yeah, they're in Iran. I'm not fucking going there.
I'm
You don't have
Polish.
any?
I don't think I
No-
have
no
any
more
Polish
Polish or
or
Irish?
Irish left. If I
I would-
did, I would totally fucking go to Ireland
I'd
right
go to Ireland in a
fucking now.
heartbeat.
I wouldn't. I hear it's boring.
Fuck you.
What, Ireland?
Yeah. I hear that all the bars close at 7 o'clock at night.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, because I start
start
drinking at
drinking.
7
Yeah,
o'clock.
they-
in the
yeah,
morning.
exactly.
Say,
By then, they're all passed out. Yeah.
The problem is like I don't do well with shit talking. So people are like, "Oh, we can outdrink you," and the Europeans will outdrink you. And you know me, I stand up to a challenge. Here we go.
Just
Okay,
just
here's
don't
what
go.
I tell you
Just
how to
don't go to
handle it.
Liverpool in your Man U t-shirt.
I'm going to Liverpool in my Man U
Dude,
shirt.
I will tell
They
you
would
right
love
now,
your shirt.
Yeah.
all I know is I got a phone call the other day and I'm like, you need to call your friend Nick.
Me, oh God.
We're not gonna get into it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I got
Yeah.
that phone call.
Whatever. Anyway, so Steve, you,
Yep. I forgot.
you're
I'm wondering.
35 years old.
Yep, okay.
Your
Yep.
wife and you have
Yep.
been able to afford to travel.
And
I was so blessed that I hit it a little earlier than you, but
I hit it
wasn't-
earlier than you too.
you're
I'm just saying.
it's
It
very
wasn't-
obvious you're a much better male dancer than I ever was. That's where the money is.
That's a factual statement.
Yeah, hell.
He's Chris Farley. You're Patrick.
Patrick
Swayze.
Swayze.
Yes,
I can see this. That's a fact.
I would pay to watch that.
My name would be Barney at this point. Thank you. All right. Thanks, Barney. We appreciate all your
But
effort.
we went down to this little teeny, we were promised a beautiful condo.
Sure.
And we're all excited. And it's Wednesday and we're leaving on Friday. Get a call and the realtor says, I made a mistake. I promised you something that I should not have promised you. I can't give you this place. Wait, we got our tickets. She said, well, don't worry. I got you a room in this little motel. It's right on the water, Sandy Shoes Resort. How can you go wrong?
It's a resort. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I have a feeling we're gonna find out how you can go wrong.
This was Belgium, you said?
no,
No.
this is down
Is
in
Oh,
Melbourne, Florida.
Melbourne, Florida. Okay.
And we're there the first night. And we're setting up, we take our chairs and we set them out on the walkway there and have a couple of cocktails. And there's a group of 8 people down there. The youngest, as I learned later on, the youngest was the same age as my mother. So we sat there and we just stay in our chairs that night. And next night we go out there again and they're doing it all again.
You're 35
said,
and these people
well,
are 50 something.
I think at that point in time, she was 58, the youngest girl. And we go down there and ask, we could join us. Sure.
Yeah.
It took us about 20 minutes to a half hour to be accepted into this group. And they were all.
Well, you were
a
young
bunch-
whippersnackers.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and things are so different, I guess, generational wise. Like,
Mhm.
because
they were
Would-
World War II
Yeah.
and Korean veterans.
wow.
Yeah.
The one gentleman, this is kind of like, this is getting off the subject a little bit, but he was the last living known white man to ever talk to a code talker
From World War
during
II.
war.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. What do you use?
During the APAC, during the Pacific Theater.
Yep,
Yeah.
it was on the island of Tinian.
Mhm.
And he died a couple years ago. I was able to stay close with, oh my God, he was funny.
Yeah.
He was- We could do a show on that shit.
I'm gonna ask this right now.
Steve,
How many times do you want to have Steve on the show after this?
A million.
I
Because
agreed.
Probably never again.
So
Steve, like this,
Every episode.
Because
every episode.
you remind me of me because, like, okay, granted,
I'm not that good looking.
it doesn't take me 30 minutes to get along with people. It's either they love me or hate me.
True story.
When I walk into a group, right? Like, I don't, if 30 minutes and they come around, no, like, I'm already either A, kicked out, or
Now,
B,
wait a minute,
absolutely
wait a minute.
loved.
Something that you weren't paying attention to. I took my wife down there.
My wife, everybody loves my wife.
Yeah,
There's
that's
just,
same thing.
Yeah. Everybody loves his wife too.
She said, we really don't want him. She says, well.
yeah, he comes
if
with
he
the
doesn't
package.
package
come,
deal.
Yeah,
I said,
it's like-
"Well, okay.
But
So
I get that. And so, like, you know, I just pen palled because I became pen pals. I have a friend from when I was drunk in Florida. So he's in
I've got
Germany.
people that way.
He's in Germany, right? And
Yeah.
so I was like, hey, and he texted me, he emailed me back and he's like, I'm really excited for you to come in 2023. Like, and he's still holding me to it. And I'm like, dude, I'm still coming. Like,
so I'm gonna say
I'm going to
this.
Germany.
I learned boat drinking from one person here.
You're
And-
welcome.
And we did not do it. But I have heard how you have a good time drinking on the boat. Steve, would you please explain your drinking hack on the boat?
Well, actually,
I've drank a
all
lot
the
on a boat.
cruises that I went on, David, were religious cruises.
Yes, and
know
you
that.
never drink anything.
Well,
Just a wine.
this is basically because of my wife. We always try to get the drinking package, and she's pretty fussy. So I get the top shelf. If I tell this, they could catch on, and they never let me do it again.
I don't think they'll ever listen to this.
I don't know who they is, but
I don't think
the
any of the
cruise
cards you
one.
gave out of the cruise has really.
About, depends on the day. I'll start anywhere between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can go down and you can get a drink for yourself and your wife. Okay, so what I do first is I get all the shots for my wife's favorite drink. Take it back up the room. Then I go get all the shots.
For your favorite drink.
No, I'm
For-
last.
Wait, her favorite
I'm-
drink, her second favorite drink, or a second serving of her favorite drink.
I get mine last. Then
So what is this?
friends
What is
that
this,
we
like,
go on the cruise with, I get their drinks and stuff, so. And usually about 4:30, they'll come over to the room, or we'll go to their room, no big deal. And I just have all the stuff there to make everybody's top shelf drinks. And even though, and this one night, it was beautiful sunset, the boat was positioned perfectly, the sun was setting right there. 10 minutes before sunset, run out of booze. I said, okay, I'll go down one floor, I'll get us all a drink, I'll be right back. That was packed. Go down anyhow. and
Well, at
I'm
that point,
going-
I'm sure they're all packed, yeah.
And I'm going up to the bar, and I'm like from here to the TV screen away from the bar. And Ma and Pa Kettle jump in front of me. And you don't know who Ma and Pa Kettle is.
Oh, yeah.
That's my fault. That's my fault. Two elderly.
No, I
people.
know what you're talking, I know what you're talking about.
Nick's
Well,
the only one here going, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I can put two and two together. That was
Yeah.
pretty easy.
And
The ones who are like, I would like,
Yeah.
well, wait, what has, wait.
that's exactly right.
I only like this after 7 o'clock at night.
I didn't even see you standing there. Where were you? You must have been right beside me.
Nailed it.
And,
I've been at enough bars.
and
that
they
late to
finally
be like-
got them.
The funny part is you get them now at like, with like the Gen Zers and the millennials at like, just, I go to the beer exchange regularly. I only really like this kind of beer, but only if it's like this, and I don't really like drinking anything like this late at
Don't
night.
you just sit there and look at them and go, just order a fucking IPA because that's all you idiots drink.
Damn hippie.
David, you got to learn to be blunt. Don't. push
I
your foot
try
down.
not, try not to sugarcoat things.
Okay.
I'm working on being less blunt because apparently people don't appreciate it as much.
You know what I say to those people?
Go fuck yourself.
Basically, yes.
Not everybody can make up their mind like you guys can. A
I
lot
mean,
of
we-
people, they stumble and struggle and they think too much.
I think the hard part now is, and maybe it's because, and some of the cruises you were at, they caught on to what people were doing. Cause I mean, like we would go,
No, I'm ruined right now. I'll never be able to do that again
Like,
now.
the
Really?
cruise we were on, like
Yeah.
Caitlin and I had the alcoholic drink packages. Dave, because of his,
Issues last year.
I
year, backed down from the alcohol. So he and Don didn't have the packages. I mean, we manipulated it as best we could.
We
Like
did.
it was like every 5 or 10 minutes you could get a new drink. And so it would be like, okay, I'm
It's
getting
just
this
not
drink.
enough for
I'm
them.
getting Dave the next drink. I'm getting me the next drink.
Who do you know in this world that can drink that quick and still stand up after an hour and a half?
After an hour and a half.
All depends on the drink.
Shit.
It does depend on the
I'm
drink.
not.
I mean, depending on the bartender, I mean, some pours were like if it was like a cup this big, it was like this much
Yes.
alcohol and this much mixer.
Well, it's, honestly,
And then there were other bartenders who was like this much alcohol and this much.
I just know right now I cannot wait to swim up to the bar at Coco K and just sit there and drink for like 6 fucking hours.
So my problem is,
I am going to make you a little sad.
What do you have, a 2-gallon bladder?
Steve,
Yes.
Steve, what I'll tell you, here's the problem. Okay.
Okay.
If you tell me I can only get a drink every 5 minutes,
He wants a drink every 2 minutes.
I will fucking drink until I'm wasted. If you just say,
No,
hey,
you're not, and don't take this the wrong way, you're a big man.
factual statement, that's true statement.
He
And-
doesn't deny it.
But
No.
if you were to sit here and just go, hey, open bar, drink what you wish, have a great night, I will slowly drink and have no problems. I will drink until 3, 5 in the morning at a slow, leisurely rate.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
And it isn't a
Leisurely
matter.
rate.
It isn't a matter. They're not
But
going to cut
it's
you
not
off. If
5
you-
minutes, but basically we did not realize the etiquette here. So Mike went and ordered 2 drinks.
Yep.
And then Caitlin walked right up behind him and ordered 2 drinks. And they go, "You've already gotten 2 drinks." And we're like, "Well, how long do you have to wait?" He goes, "At least a couple minutes."
Sure.
And we're like, "Oh." So like 3 or 4 minutes later, Caitlin went up and got 2 drinks.
She says, wait, I'll just stand right here.
Yeah, basically.
Because if I can just sip a beer, like honestly, so I'm the kind of person.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's on the timer are those Coke machines,
Yes.
I'll wake up at
the little Coke freestyles where you
Yes.
get the different sodas
They,
and the different.
they
Really?
don't just give you Coke like it's phone.
It's
Yeah.
some weird.
Like
They've
it's
got a
5 cents?
sensor in
Every
the
2
bottom.
minutes.
The sensor on the bottom of the cup.
Okay.
I will wake up, and this is my routine every vacation, right? I wake up, I have a mimosa, maybe a second mimosa, depending
No,
on
and the funny part is you go to
how hot it
the
is.
you go to
Sounds like
the
good
buffet
vacation,
for
son.
breakfast and
They
they
bring
have
you
mimosas.
mimosas.
They have
And then number
Bloody
2,
Marys, whatever you'd want.
Yep. And so then I'll switch to depending on how I'm feeling at that moment. If I didn't sleep well, and I've started drinking mimosas at 5 o'clock, I'll either do a shot or a pineapple or a pina colada, or I'll just start drinking beer. And if I drink beer, I will officially drink beer until probably, I don't know, 4 a.m., go to bed, wake back up at 6 a.m., drink a mimosa, and I will start this process all over. And that's how I like, and probably every 4 hours on vacation, I will do a shot. That, you know what, enough to get me to that next level, and I will just drink beer all day.
All I know right now is we're gonna be going on a Sunday.
I think Emerson's coming. This is gonna be
That's
great.
fine.
Like
We're
she's
gonna be going
my
on a
beer runner.
Sunday, which means we're gonna watch like 3 football games on
Sunday
a
night
big
football, Monday night football,
screen
Thursday
TV.
night football.
Well, we're gonna watch 3 on the Sunday,
Well, what time are we getting on the boat?
probably like 11 in the morning.
That's true.
Which means we're gonna watch 3 on Sunday. We're gonna watch Monday night football. We're gonna watch Thursday night football. We're gonna drink the
And we get
entire
back
fucking
what
time.
on a Saturday, which means there's probably no.
No,
Get a-
we
college
get on the,
football.
yeah. Well, we'll be in Miami on the Saturday.
okay.
I gotta figure out when I'm
You
flying.
guys, can you put a bet on the game? That makes the game a lot. more
It does
fun.
make it a lot
Okay,
more
so I'm-
fun.
First, I'm going to say something that's going to make you sad. I'm going to
Okay.
say something that you're going to enjoy.
Okay.
I've made the decision. I will not be joining you guys on a cruise in 2013.
2013.
2013 was a long time
Oh
ago.
no, he's not gonna join us 10 years ago.
2023.
Okay.
I have made the decision.
Uh-huh.
Every other year, I want to do a vacation with my kids and then a vacation with my family,
That's perfect.
with my friends.
Very fair.
I like
So-
that.
I mean,
So that's,
until
but the happy part, for the
Yes.
it's a great
end
time
of September, when I hit my 25-year anniversary where I work, $2,500.
Nice.
I'm going to spend some of that on the casino in an attempt
To
get
win
a
a
free
free
cruise.
cruise. You are a smart man.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's $2,500. That again,
Oh,
it's
be sorry. Well, you know what? I know we're supposed to be talking about finances.
we
and
are kind of talking about finances.
We are,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is what happens. We kind of get off
I
cycle.
have a tendency to make people drift. I always have and always will.
Well, I do have a question here. So you're
All right.
retired. So walk us through that. You decide, okay, it's time. I'm not going to work anymore. What did you do with the business?
My son and my other helper, Tim, they've been working, actually, Tim has been working with me 30 years, and I think Brent's like 28 years. But Brent has taken over the business. And
Do you still get any like kickback from it as you fully purchased it, or because it's still Steve Henderson construction or whatever, do you get some kickbacks on
As
it?
a matter of fact, we are in the process of changing that all over right now.
Rebranding.
And well, he earned.
No, I agree. I
great
would
penny.
agree. Yeah, no.
He
I just didn't know
supported
if-
my fat old lazy ass for 30 years.
I will say this. So when
So is this
Steve-
going to be Brent Henderson or is this going to be Henderson and Sons?
That's his decision, and we're not 100% sure of how we're gonna do that just yet.
one of my favorites. So Steve redid our kitchen,
No.
and Steve came up and worked the first day for like, I don't know, a couple hours.
I'm almost positive you've made a mistake. I think it was 7.5 hours. I was there.
It might have been.
Well, might have been 7.5 hours, but 5 of it may have been drinking with you.
So at one point he goes, well, I don't want to have to send Brent up to sand for 20 minutes, but I guess I'll have to. So Brent came up like every day to sand for 20 minutes. And at one point, Caitlin goes, you know, Brent basically built the kitchen. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. The boss
Well,
Yeah.
watches and the workers work.
No. The boss
Supervises.
delegates.
Yes.
Oh, I mean,
I like this kid.
I know you have.
I've only known you for 30 some years too.
I know the big words.
Well, I always was at school. I just wasn't in the classroom.
I remember a couple of times my brother and your son were on the same baseball team, and you guys would always.
Oh, we had a good baseball team too.
I'm just talking about the little league teams.
Yeah.
And you
That's
guys
fun.
would always sponsor.
Yeah.
And you would always invite the families for a party to your
Yeah.
house. And so I
Yeah.
remember swimming in your pool a couple of times.
Well, I'll tell you
oh,
what.
you got a pool.
Well,
Had.
at the
Oh,
house.
We've got a creek now in a pond.
Yeah.
Natural springs.
At the house, he had a pool at the house that had the.
That's
the
from
pool.
Caddy.
He did. With the great toilet.
Sorry, Steve and I had a moment.
Uh,
We both enjoy Caddyshack.
I have
okay.
I have many moments with Steve.
Can I just, are you retired now?
He is.
Yep, this is like.
What do you want to
my-
do tomorrow?
What I want to do and what I'm gonna do are two different things.
Do you want to wake up,
Yeah, I do.
go to breakfast,
No,
go back to your place? We'll
No.
just drink.
no, I'll
Take a-
get up.
We'll take a nap.
I'll watch the news.
Okay.
I'm probably, I don't know, I'll look at my phone a little bit and stuff and
This is,
I'll probably get up and go to the gym. I don't know, you guys probably noticed my bicep.
I did.
I mean, you know,
You are definitely jacked.
Where'd you go to the gym at?
Reps Gym, Plainville. Jared
wow.
Dermo.
Was that a sponsor right there? Like, I mean, he just said that, like he literally, boom, this is.
I mean, they
where I
could
go.
sponsor us. I'd be fine with
Yeah,
that. I'd be fine with any sponsor at this point.
Reps Gym, boom.
Here, wait, grab that bottle of Crown Royal. Let's get that sitting right out.
All
front.
right, now we're talking.
That everybody will be drinking brown wine.
Brown wine. There you
Right
go.
there.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Crown, we're waiting for that sponsorship.
Well, that's from Canada, you know.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Now, do you know where Crown Royal came from?
Tell us.
I was going to. I'm gonna say it was in like 1928. The Queen of England came over to Canada for a visit, and so they wanted to have something special for her, so they left Seagram's in the keg for another 2 years and came up with Crown Royal.
No shit.
You thought it was gonna be something real exciting, didn't you?
I mean, that's actually exciting to me, but like,
Well,
huh?
So how many years is that age then?
Seagram's.
What's Seagram's normally aged?
5 seconds.
Just enough to get a little brown on it.
Yeah, like I mean, you ferment it, you throw it into a freaking bottle. Like
So
it's
it's not
Seagram's.
it's not like an 18-year-old single malt scotch.
No, see, it's Seagram's 7 and 7,
No,
dude.
it's not. Now, actually, I am a single malt Scotch fan, not an expert, not by any means, way, shape, or form,
Really?
but I've drank.
No Lagavulin.
So back in the day, so like 2000, I go out to LA to see my family, and they love James Bond out there, mind you.
James Bond.
So they decide they're gonna get a martini,
Shaken?
Shaken, not stirred.
and they get the damn thing. And this was one of my younger cousins who unfortunately has passed away since, but he tastes it and he goes, "Holy shit, how do people drink this?"
So here's the problem.
Okay.
Every summer,
Yeah.
I make martinis because I'm a fancy, classy person. And I love pineapple martinis, which is why you
Okay.
don't drink them.
Okay.
Right.
Mind you, you just said the key word, pineapple.
Oh,
Yes.
pineapple martinis.
Vermouth is, I mean,
Vermouth tastes like shit.
tastes like shit.
That's when you know you're
Because
not
basically
alcoholic. You got the
you're
bottle
dealing
gifted
with,
to you.
you've got your gin, you've got your vermouth, and then again, you're adding whatever,
Yeah.
olive juice if it's a dirty,
That helps a lot.
Yeah, let's say
I don't like olives, so it would help me.
I-
So-
Yeah,
my
we
triple
help you with
sec.
all of it, wouldn't it?
I will say
I had
this,
olives on my pizza today.
because I get bottles from a certain place in town that is known for their Mexican food.
Is that the place that doesn't let you swear?
It is the place that kicked me out because I said the F word too many times.
You get bottles from there.
I do.
I was surprised too.
Brent and Yvonne have gone there before. They go there before concerts in town.
It's the famous Mexican
They-
cafe.
They make their margaritas with one liquor,
Triple sec, then you say.
triple sec, no tequila.
Which means it's not really.
It's not a fucking
Wait
margarita.
Wait a minute, that's
Yes.
against the law.
They make it with only
It's-
triple sec.
it's
We get
not-
bottles from them, and 95% of the bottles are triple sec.
And it's
You have
not.
your phone with you?
I do.
Get a hold of Jennifer. Let's get this shit worked out right now. Bullshit.
But no,
So,
I mean,
When you go home and you talk to your wife and your son, say, "Hey, I know about the margaritas you drink. They're only triple sec."
yeah.
If I may be allowed.
But then it's also important to remember it's not truly tequila unless it's made in certain provinces in Mexico.
True story.
Factual statement, actually, yes, but people will claim it. So,
I know right now that I am a tequila connoisseur.
I am not.
I love it.
It's so weird how opposite we are.
I absolutely love it. One of the guys in the garrison.
But are you really a connoisseur? Would you actually like drink it straight if it was like really
Oh,
like
tequila?
Oh, I will.
Hell yeah.
okay, like the
So-
really fancy like
There was a place on the north side of town that had a tequila club that I was in, and then they closed, which pissed me off because I like tasting different tequilas.
You ever been to Mexico?
I have not.
Puked from the tequila.
I have
I'm a
not been to
bigger
Mexico.
connoisseur than you.
So
have you ever eaten the worm?
I have not, but I would. So one of the guys in the garrison, Kevin, who
Yeah.
I love Kevin, he drinks top shelf tequila. Anybody want to guess what? No. Anybody want to guess what his favorite brand of tequila is?
Oh God, Bernard.
Jose Cuervo.
No, worse.
Worse.
El Toro.
El Toro.
You're talking.
You're right. Worse.
He found a place in Traverse City that literally had the El Toro on the top fucking shelf. So now he swears that it's top shelf tequila because he found it in
No,
one
no, no.
fucking party
The
store.
reason
Yeah,
they put
okay.
that up
Yeah,
there is
because
they
it's-
don't want
because
anybody
it's
to get
because-
to it.
It's on the top shelf because you're like some of the others are like locked in the cabinets.
Yes.
Hey, when I started making my margaritas, now this would be a long time ago, I used El Toro. And that was.
I mean,
top-
I did it.
That was top shelf. to
I
me,
drank
'cause
El
that was
Toro
all
as
I
a
could
college
afford.
student.
Oh, see.
Well, yeah, when you're young and broke.
I drank 5 o'clock vodka as a college student. I drank Smirnoff. I
5
drank,
o'clock and pop off.
What's the
Pop
matter
off.
with that? Oh,
5 o'clock and pop off. Oh, you didn't grow up poor enough long enough.
So I will tell you right now, one of my favorite Mike drunk stories was the hot damn night.
Oh,
Oh my, he got
Damn and Red Dog.
so drunk on hot damn he can't literally
remember.
smell it anymore.
No, I can't. I was somewhere. I think
And
it was
Red
actually
Dog.
with the bottles
oh, Walgreens Red Dog.
this past weekend when I was the weekend before.
Couple weekends ago,
Valentine's
yeah.
weekend when I was helping your got in before a lot of other people, and I saw like a hot damn bottle, and I'm like,
I cannot do.
We had hot damn and red dog all freaking night. I was
cinnamon,
18,
and mind you, cinnamon is one of my favorite flavors ever.
Still.
but not
Yes.
hot damn.
Oh, see, I cannot do it. Like, I don't like. People will be like, "Hey, let's do Fireball," and I was like, "I'll do it," but like, I don't like
I did
it.
some
I
Fireball.
like Fireball.
I did Fireball.
What else
I
is
just
there?
like atomic fireballs in general.
Yes.
The candy.
Oh yeah. Nope.
Cinnamon tastes good coming back out.
See,
Lot
this is
better than just straight tequila.
True.
words of wisdom just to let everybody know, right? So if you know that you're going to not be well by the end of the night, you're saying cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Well, it wouldn't be my first choice.
I say eat an entire bowl of Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles because it tastes great going down and coming back up.
Truth matter is, and you can tell by looking at me, I enjoy my eating. And I love to eat a bowl of pre-sweetened. My favorite is Captain Crunch. I love Captain.
I had Captain Crunch yesterday.
Did
Some
you?
Camp
Two bowls.
Crunch.
Wait, yesterday was Monday. Sorry, on Sunday morning.
I like some
We-
Captain
we-
Crunch. I like some Crunch berries.
Oh, of course, Captain Crunch. What's Captain Crunch?
I'm a straight through Captain Crunch.
Just the Captain, not with the berries.
The funny
No.
part is,
I will say I'm Captain Crunch with the berries.
this is my
No.
son. Okay, it's one of the malto meal or whatever cereals.
Yep. In the bag.
Yeah, in the big bag.
Yep.
It's like Dino things or something. It's basically their version of Fruity Pebbles, which my son likes a whole lot better than Fruity Pebbles. And they also have a version with the
It's got
marshmallows.
so much more flavor. Yes. Oh my gosh, they do. And
With
it's
the marshmallows.
great.
It's great.
Right. It's like you get the best of Lucky Charms because you get the marshmallows without having to have the crappy, nasty part,
Mhm.
and you get Fruity Pebbles in it. I agree. Your son honestly gets it.
Yeah.
He's going places in life. Say that's trust me, I choose that one too. So Steve,
Yep.
what made you retire? The
people.
wife, the people.
No, shit. My wife, oh my God. I'm not gonna get into that. It's just, I think I'm gonna actually probably be my age and I'm just, the customer's always right, which they're not. but
Ever.
They are.
Mhm.
And
They're paying-
it's
They're
the,
paying the bill.
it's the unfortunate nature of any sort of basically customer driven.
They're never right.
So, and honestly, I give you so much credit. And that's one thing I'd love to talk probably off the air about is how to deal with that because you made it 50 years with a customer saying, hey, this isn't how it is. And this isn't what I wanted. This isn't this, right? Like I go to a property and hey, I need my screen fixed. And I'll put the screen on, I'll put the what do they call it, beading or the
little rubber.
Yep, the rubber
gasket,
run, yep. And so I'll push that in there. Oh, that's wrong. That you need to go get new. You need to do this.
No, you don't.
Right, exactly. And the problem is these tenants will fight me. Oh, I'm not paying rent until it's done correctly. Do you think I give two shits about you and what the hell you're gonna do in this world? Like, and the problem is I tell these people straight up how it is. Like, no, it's fixed correctly. If you have a problem, call the city. The city's gonna go ahead and call me. But they want everything.
It doesn't have anything to do with the screen at all. It has to do that they don't have the money or they're spending the money elsewhere and they just don't want to pay you is what it has to do with.
I'm glad you understand that. We could be friends. Are you sure you don't want to just wake up tomorrow and start drinking? Because I'll take the day off tomorrow.
What the hell makes you so sure I ain't going to?
You already told me you're waking up and go to the gym or some bullshit.
Yeah, but that's at like
Hey, you
10
don't get guns like that.
but that's at like
without
10 or 11 o'clock
That's
in the
true.
in the morning.
I always used to set a rule for myself. My wife and I, we
Don't drink till noon.
We don't start drinking. Well, when I was younger, yeah, noon.
Yep.
Well, it's a lot tougher then. But we don't, hey, you're laughing at it. We don't start drinking till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Unless we feel like drinking earlier.
It's a great
That's a
rule
good
to have.
rule.
I'm not.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, you guys are.
I could be at your house by 4 o'clock tomorrow. I drop my
It's funny you bring that up because my wife says that you're there quite a bit when I'm not around. All right, Mike.
How'd she describe him?
She hasn't talked about the French maid's uniform that I wear yet, right?
All she says is Big Mike's coming today. That's all she said.
Is that you want me to pat him down for the hundreds? You got the serial numbers figured out?
Yeah, because I only leave her change.
Yeah. Say.
And we talk about retirement. So like I had my yearly review a little over a week ago. And they basically, I mean, I'm at almost 25 years in my job
Good for you.
where I work. And so they're like,
Mind you,
when,
after you and I talked, I'm like, I hate my fucking job.
yeah, we'll talk off the air about
Yeah.
what my bonus was.
Can I interject one thing?
Yeah.
Of course. Did you give yourself a bonus?
No,
All right, interject.
I love my job.
Oh, I really enjoy what I'm doing, but
Did
you
you
know,
really?
I've
Yeah.
been there. I mean, at this point, you know, I mean, you'll be, like you said, you work 50 years at your business. So basically I'm almost at half what you were owning your
Well, you're
business.
about half my age.
Well, no, I'm more than half your age, but still.
I'm half your age.
You are.
Yeah.
But-
Not quite, but close.
But they basically, like a lot of other people are like, you know, hey, what's your, you know, career plan for the next 5 to 10 years? They were basically like, you know, when are you actually kind of thinking about retiring? And I kind of looked at it. I'm like, I've got about 7 more years of paying child support. I said, so, I mean,
That's a big thing. That's kind of like getting your house paid for. or
it
something.
will, which will get me, you know, to just short of 55.
But the kids are gonna be going to college then too.
Yeah, but I'm already working on that with other money I'm putting aside.
Congrats, Bucks and Brews.
But the idea being, they're basically like, I'm like, I would like to retire no later than 60. Because basically once I'm done paying child support, because I'm already budgeting in money to help my kids go to college. It's
What are you
basically,
gonna do?
once I'm done paying child support, that all that money goes into my retirement.
What are you gonna do?
In terms of what? After I retire?
Yeah. Well, you know, it ain't that easy.
Buy a bar?
I've been looking for
You'll
a bar
lose
for
money
3
there.
years.
I know.
Might not be the best choice.
It will be.
I've remodeled and built
Open-
8
open-
restaurant
open,
bars in my career.
Jamaica Beer Exchange.
Fly down there, have to get
Do
it.
Yes.
something you like.
Yeah. And I mean, my retirement isn't going to be like done working. It'll probably be something like doing like a part-time job where I'm like a scout professional or something like that. 'Cause
I
I'm
have
very active in
struggled.
scouts.
I have struggled for the past 4 or 5 months. Every day when I got up, I had something to do.
Mhm.
Men needed materials, customers need to be seen.
No, it'll be like I said, I'm already kind of thinking about it. I'm
Why
making
don't you-
connections. Like I said, my kids are both in scouts. I really enjoy the scouting program.
Oh,
If it still exists in,
nothing better than helping out the youth of America.
yeah, is to basically stay in that probably after I retire. And like I said, whether I'm, you know, being like a part-time professional or just doing it as like, you know,
Well-
the unpaid people that help out.
What do you, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm just asking this question. What do you think is your most valuable asset to this world?
Mine particularly.
Shit.
Yours, and you didn't know I even knew words like that.
No,
did
first
you?
of all, like, let me, like, from the bottom of my heart, greatest fucking question that's ever
Yeah.
been asked on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like I really mean it, because people don't ask that type of stuff.
No,
Like
they
that,
don't.
like that is amazing, right? like-
You guys never have run with somebody like me before. I'll bring this show down.
Uh,
Just wait.
like, it almost-
Hang on a
it almost-
minute.
it almost-
Some of us have run with guys like you before.
It almost comes into something that I had a meeting. It was, they called it a skip meeting. So I don't talk to my supervisor. I talk to my supervisor's supervisor. And basically that was almost a question like from a work related perspective. And basically it was like, you know, we talked a little bit about some of the training that I'm responsible for because of some of the things I'm a subject matter expert for. And some of that might be moving away.
I've
And I'm
known
like,
you for a little while.
I don't
and
mind. I
know
said, I
about-
don't mind training. I said, but I'd much rather be like a one-on-one mentor than training like a large group of people. And so to me, that's kind of, I think more what it would, for me, that's what I could find my passion in is being like, hey, you know, I know how to do this. Let me mentor you. Like I said, if it's anything, like I said, especially in scouts, it's going in and being like, hey, I've been a scout master before. I've been a cub master before. I've been this, that, and the other thing before. Let me help you be successful at it.
You and I are on the same page. Your knowledge and experience is the most valuable
Mhm.
thing that you have. Now, if you were like,
Does that bother you?
what?
That's your number one best thing, your knowledge and experience.
No, I'm very proud of that.
How long did it take you to feel that way?
I've felt that way for a long, long time. I've said that for, I've said this 20, 25 years ago when they were forcing all these people out. I said, you guys in upper management are giving away the United States' most valuable asset right now, forcing these people out. I've dealt with insurance companies for 45 years. And the new young kids today are coming up with ideas that were tried 30 years ago. They didn't work then. They're not gonna work now.
Sure.
And these guys say, oh yeah, shit, this is gonna work great. I says, have you thought about this? No, but there's other guys. I said, "Oh, all right, we'll see what's what." All the adjusters I used to work with, they're all gone. All new kids. now.
So you worked with, so they found you to go do the work for the properties.
Now let's see how it happened. Okay, the storm had come through. I'd have a customer. I always tried to do it differently. The adjusters like to come in. They give their figures or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
and
they're
do
2
this.
cents on your 10 cents. Yeah.
And then they're out, and then I come in. I always tried to meet with the adjuster, go through it, and he'd say, well, that's gonna have to be fixed. I said, yep, that is gonna have to be fixed. What about all those other rafters that are attached to that? Even if they're not broken, they're out of place, and we've got to lift those up. And then, yeah, you're right and stuff. But I mean, I was working for the customer, not for the insurance company.
Sure.
Might have been working a little bit for myself, but
Of course, but like, I mean, and that's just how it has to go. You know, because I when I bought my first house, it was the weirdest situation you've ever dealt with. You know, we had a storm come through after I bought it, of course, and it ripped off some siding.
gee, that's too bad.
Yeah, and you know, all of a sudden I have enough money for siding. Well, you know, the first guy quotes me like $28,000. Here it is, 2010.
I can do it for 27 without looking.
That's exactly it,
You're not
right?
helping me, David.
I know.
That's exactly it, though, right? So, like, you know, I was like, this seems ridiculous. So I get my insurance guy, and he's like, I'll meet the guy, and he goes, all right, cool, you're kind of approved for this. My uncle's a contractor, and I was like, hey, come here, let me figure out what I can do here. And he's like, we're gonna do brand new vinyl siding that'll cost you $7. I was like, 7? What can we do with 20? So I get my whole house room. No, I get part, you know, I get a bunch of other stuff done. But you know, it blew my mind the amount of the difference between going from you as a contractor to this guy who's ripping off. He's been on, you know, the news for scamming millions of people for millions of dollars.
They're out there.
Yeah. Oh, he is and was. And say, I wanted to be a dick and buy his building. Say, but right. So like, there's just so many different things, you know. And the good thing is he kind of knew the insurance side, which blew my mind because, so my insurance claimed that I get the new replacement. So on my house, originally I had aluminum siding. Well, I get to replace that with vinyl siding because that's the new and better process. And now I have to match around all 4 sides.
Yes.
So now I have to redo the entire thing. And I was like, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. So, I mean, you know, now my house is well worth it. So,
Well, I mean, you know, the insurance companies are the ones that they're the ones that put those paragraphs on the paper.
that's exactly it.
Wasn't you?
You
that
gotta
did
you
it?
gotta have the right person that knows the right stuff. So now my agent, he has my back for the most part, and they all know.
That's your big key.
Oh,
You
100%.
need a good agent.
And he knows what I want, and he's like, hey, you can do this for this price or this. And I was like, look, you need to tell me what I'm gonna do, but understand that if I need you, the 3 times I hope to use you in my life, fire, whatever, like, I better get every damn dime, right? Like, okay, yep. And I was like, trust me, I'm gonna be a complete asshole about it. Like, okay.
What insurance company do you deal with, if I may ask?
Vredevoog Brummels out of Hudsonville. I use Joel Emerson. And then
What company do they represent?
a bunch of them. So they're a broker. So
Okay.
right now, I used to have State Auto. That was absolutely horrible. And who do I have now? I don't know who I have now, to be honest. But you know what I do know? I can call Joel right now and say, hey, who do I have? And he'll go, this is who we have you with. This is what we have. This, right? Because I want an answer and I want it now. I don't want it, when it comes to things that impact my life that big, right? So like my wife, if she gets into a medical emergency and I happen to, I have my primary health insurance on me, but otherwise, like I have, these are the very few things I know. Do I know what coverage I have? No, I don't care, right?
Who the hell does?
Right. Like David. Yeah, I say
Like,
nerds.
David. I forgot, David. What do you do for a living?
I work at the insurance company.
Oh, that's right. You write the book.
Yes.
Do you have your own insurance? Yeah.
Sorry,
so-
Dave.
But right, so like, I need to have the right people in the right place that do the right stuff. And that's what's made me successful. Knowing people.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to
Like-
know people.
Yep.
And the people you know are good on.
Have to be good, honest people. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I
See,
think,
that's a mistake you made when you hired me, David. You should have been looking around for somebody.
no, I still found the best person.
Well,
Yeah.
So,
And the person who's gonna be the most honest to you.
I'm
Correct.
almost done with my parole. I think another 16, 18 months, I think I'm done.
that's fine. I can handle that.
So that's not bad.
And really all of us have had that. We have mentored kids and, I've talked about this many, many times. It's the most rewarding thing I did was coaching my daughter and her teammates. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And honestly, I would trade the world to go back and do it again.
100%.
Honestly.
Don't
All
get
day-
that chance.
all day,
You're
every
gonna
day.
run.
That's
You're not done yet.
I just said that to Courtney the other day. I was like, the one thing I miss right now, I miss coaching.
Yeah.
I do. I miss coaching.
You gonna
And
get your daughter into softball so you can do some
No.
more coaching
nope, I hope
No?
not. So
or any other sport?
I don't know if I'm going to start having to learn gymnastics.
You are.
You'll be the next Bella Crowley.
But so like I did, I
Let's
signed.
hope better than that.
So
Yeah.
here's arrogant asshole Nick, right? My daughter wants to play soccer.
Okay.
Soccer's filled up. They need volunteers for coaches.
But she can't play.
Do you know who? Because it's filled, right? Like
She
soccer.
can't play, but they still need volunteers.
If they
around
need
you.
coaches.
If they need coaches,
then
guess who's
she
going to be
can
playing,
play.
right?
Yeah.
And do you know, like, and I look at it, go, okay, do I know what I'm doing? No, but A, I know how to lead. B, I have enough friends that know how to sit here and do that, and I will bring them in. Hey, we have a special guest today, and guess what? I will teach you the rest of the year what he taught me in that 1 hour.
I coached soccer for 1 year.
Exactly, right, David? You don't know a dang thing about. I know more about soccer
Mind
than you do.
I played soccer for like 10
minutes?
years.
Yeah. Really?
I did. I really
Wow. I had no idea.
did. I played from like age 5 to probably 8th grade.
And so, right, and that's just it. Like, so my wife's like, hey, would you be okay with coaching? And I'm like, yeah, if that's what it takes to get my kid. Playing
We'll
soccer?
We'll hook you up with Matt if you need some.
Yeah,
tips on
seriously,
that.
Matt knows soccer.
Matt, who?
Male.
Yeah, he's in
My
our
all.
Star Wars group.
Yeah, no, and then like my, one of my good friends, Robbie, like he played college soccer, right? Like
Mhm.
I know enough people that I can get by, and that's all that
Well, I mean,
matters.
that's part of what life is, isn't it? You find people that can tell you what to do, when to do. I needed a roof a few years ago.
Yep.
My first phone call was to Steve.
Yep.
And Steve goes,
Did that ever quit leaking?
it did.
Okay.
Steve
Oh,
goes,
that's right, the ice dam.
Steve goes, yeah, I'm not really doing roofs anymore, but call Spencer. And I'm like, all right.
Oh, okay.
And he gives me Spencer's number and I call him. He's like, yeah, Steve, I'll come up do your roof. And I mean, that's how I get 80% of the stuff done because I call and I'm like, hey, I know so-and-so. And they're like, oh yeah, I love that person. I'll come do it.
Well, it's the guy that does my roofs, right? Like honestly, like if I call right now, he's like, "Oh, Mr. Nick, it's snowing outside." Yeah, what's the problem? Nothing. I was just letting you know what the weather was, and I was like, "All right," and I love it. But it's really just building that relationship.
It is.
Can we take one step backwards?
Sure.
One,
Now, we went over this like an hour ago. At the level, the younger level, high school, some of the high school kids need a little more technical stuff, but developing their own self-worth and their confidence at that level, you get more out of that. I don't give a shit what kind of technician they are, but if they feel confident in themselves,
Mhm.
they're gonna be better and it'll work out better for everyone.
100%, right? Like I have watched kids. I coach bowling, and right,
Oh, yeah,
I used to,
I love bowling.
and to watch a kid and go, "Hey, pick up a 7-pin." "Oh, I can't. It's my hardest pin." All right, and he misses, right? "Oh, I got this." And like this kid hasn't picked up one all damn season, right? Wham! That's my boy, right? Like just no, but like honestly, like getting them to believe in who they are as people, right? Like that is the biggest. You can do anything. One of my things when it comes to schooling and stuff is like I want people like I'm so naive to how many real jobs are out there in this world. When you say, "Hey, like you could really go be anything you want. What do you want to do?" And if people are like, "Oh, I want to eat Oreos." I mean, God, now with what the heck it is, okay, you have to go eat every Oreo and taste them and go, "Hey, this is my review on these things," and then figure out where to put it. Like, there's so many things that you could do with this, and kids just have to understand. Like, we talked about it on last episode. My daughter got called spoiled, and it was like, no, like
Who called her that?
my sister-in-law. And is she spoiled? 100%, right? Like, but like the fact is like, if my daughter's complaining about something that she made the choice to do, she needs to live with her choice. But like, listen to what she's complaining about. "I wanted that thing. I want that." You can have that thing. It's not like it's irreplaceable. And I'm going to teach you how to get it, right? Here you go. Here's $20. We're going to go out and buy it. And guess what? She stopped crying. And once you learn that $20 doesn't mean shit, like, and my wife's like, "Oh, you have to teach her how to do this." And I was like, "No, I sit there and have a conversation with her. You can't cry because you don't have what you want. You can't do this. You can't do like my kid hates me because I give her 4-hour lectures, but she understands.
What's that like?
Right. This.
You're
With a
her
little less
father,
swearing.
you're not her best friend. You're
That's a
her
factual
father.
statement, right?
If you wanna, and I'm not saying you are, but you wanna make a worthless kid, try to give in to them, make them happy on everything, and don't teach them right from wrong. If you want to do that, you'll make a worthless kid more times than not.
Well, I sit there and I look at Caitlin a lot because, I was not the best coach for her
Sure.
because she was my daughter and I didn't want anybody going, "Well, she just gets this because she's coach's daughter." So
You were a hair tough on
I
her.
was really hard on her. And I would have players come up to me and go, "You need to be nicer to Caitlin. You're a dick."
No, I don't.
And I'm like,
Is that why Brent never played football?
and I'm like, "No, this is the way it is, and I'm gonna treat her the way I treat her." And by the time she got to her senior year, I just sat there going, "My God, this." I saw one of the memories the other day, and it was a picture of her and Whitley, and it said, "All of this ends in less than 40 games."
Oh.
And I mean, I can go back to that moment in my mind, and I was just so happy that I got to coach her that final year. And I didn't yell at her. I didn't get pissed at her. She did whatever she did. And I was perfectly happy with all of it. It was probably her best season of softball.
Sure.
Because she didn't have some asshole coach up her ass constantly going, "Why didn't you make this throw?" Or "Why didn't you catch that ball?" Or "Why didn't you do this?" Or "Why didn't you do that?" She didn't hear any of that because it didn't matter to me anymore. I mean, I was just enjoying the ride.
But I mean, it as much as I do. Like if I know you, I'm way harder.
Oh my God, you were awful
And-
to Jessica calling strikes.
100%, right? Like, and people think that like, do I spoil my kid? Right. When it comes to the right things, but like, I also hold my kid to a very high accountability, right? If my daughter back talks anybody here, right? It is a straight boom. You're standing in front of me. We do not do, and here's why. And like, right. Like disrespect. Like, and she's sitting here going, I know, I understand. And no, like, until you get it, I'm not stopping this conversation. Right. And like, I hold her to a, asshole 17-year-old conversation. And of course,
Nick, Scotty doesn't know Nick. While Nick gets rid of his phone call there, we sit there and again, a lot of the lessons I learned, I didn't know I was learning. I went to practice and they said, slant right, slant left, whatever. I didn't realize that I was learning life lessons. It was something that came much, much later in life. And again, I looked at my coaches in a certain way, and I didn't realize even back then, I love Steve, and I love Steve back then, but I didn't realize the impact he was having on me because, at that point, I didn't know if I was ever going to coach. I didn't know, what I was going to do. And there were plenty of times that, I did dumb shit or I was worthless for a year or two. But, once I started coaching, I knew exactly who I wanted to be. I knew who I wanted to emulate. I knew what type of impact I wanted to have because, Mike and I would sit there, the last couple of years of high school. I'm like, hey, let's go see Hendi. And he's like, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome. And, at the end of the day, that was the impact I wanted to have on my kids. I wanted them to sit there and get excited about, hey, I'm going to go see coach today. And, on some of my really rough days, I will sit there and tell people, I'm like, sometimes all you need to do is talk to your old coach because Steve will make shit better. I'm sitting there trying to die. And, I'm the only one that doesn't know I'm dying, mind you. Everybody else knows I'm 2 feet in the grave. And Dawn says, yeah, Steve's going to come up and see you today. I'm like, that's awesome. Mind you, I still don't know I'm dying. And by that point, I really wasn't. But it meant so much to me that Steve came and, hung out at the hospital.
What it looked like.
It did look like I was dying. But I was so happy that Steve came up to the hospital and hung out. And I mean, that last day I was there. So I had Steve and Jim and Wendy came to the hospital. I get home and Mike comes up and sits with me while I sit there sleeping on the couch because I can't stay awake.
Didn't any of this seem odd to you?
It didn't at the time. It did the next day. So the next day I'm talking to Dawn and I went, Marv came and saw me on Wednesday. And she goes, yeah. And I said, I sent him a text afterwards and I said, hey, I really appreciate you coming up. And he goes, yeah, well, if something happened, I couldn't live with myself. And I said to Dawn, I go, did Marv think I was dying? And she goes, everyone thought you were dying. And I'm like, seriously? And she goes, yeah. And that was the first time it hit me that I should have died.
You were pretty close.
I was pretty close. And, I got really lucky and the people that cared about me came and saw me.
Only the good die young.
Yeah, well, I'm going to live a long time then because I'm not that damn good.
But I mean, go to heaven and the bad girls go after you.
You're damn right about that. And again, 44 years old, I'll be 45 this year. If I have half the impact on the kids that I coach that you had on me,
oh bullshit.
I'm a happy guy. You can say bullshit all you want. One of the proudest moments. So I used to have a really good friend in the news. And he did this thing called One Good Thing. And I said, Nick, I think I got a story for you. Every year, the girls read letters to people that are influential in their life. And he goes, yeah, that sounds awesome. So he comes and he records it. And my mom saw it and she's like, yeah, that's cool. And Steve called me after he saw it in tears. And it was probably the best I've ever felt in my life other than coaching my daughter, because that meant more to me than anything else. He was proud of me. And, I at that point, I'm like, well, I hit a level that, somebody I look up to is really proud of what I'm doing. And for me, that was just a hell of a moment. And I mean, honestly, so, I'm at Coopersville now and I'm an assistant coach. And I said to Chris a couple months ago, I'm like, we're going to do letters again. And he goes, yeah, I don't really know if it's going to translate up here. I'm like, I don't care. We're going to do letters. I talked to a couple of the kids. They're for it. And I told him, I said, I'll go first. And when we start to do letters, I'm calling his ass to come up. because that's who I'm going to tell. Because at the end of the day, the coach I am is the coach that I had.
Hey, nobody, no one got more out of it than I did. I enjoyed all of you young men, and they're just, hey, certain people's personalities just bond together. So
You always made me feel special. And you've always treated me really, really well. And again, Mike never played football, so he never played for you. But anytime I'd say, hey,
he's always been a good guy.
I said, hey, we're going to go play golf with Steve. And he's like, holy shit, that's awesome. Hey, we're going to go over to Steve's. Oh, God, I just want to see Steve. And he's always been excited to see you. And
he's smarter than that too, you would think.
You would think. I mean, he did graduate with honors.
Book smart.
You graduate with honors? Wow, you are book smart.
He is.
He is.
Just so you know, I'll graduate with honors in 2 months.
Yeah, but that's like years later.
Wait a minute.
Took you years to wise up.
It did.
All right, are you done?
I will be done the end of April. I'm finishing up my second to last class on Sunday.
Wait a minute. You get where I'm going here?
Yeah, we're gonna go
party.
We're gonna go eat some food, drink some liquor.
Well, if they don't have food, they don't have food.
I'm thinking a hibachi sounds good.
God, last time
Was
I
it
ate
that?
there, I ate
Yeah.
3 plates worth.
That was a good time.
I don't see the problem here.
So mind
He
you,
even said,
Nick,
he even said that was more for Caitlin.
it was.
They're doing the hibachi in a few months because
She'll be done at the end of August. So Nick, Steve went with us to BD's.
Mongolian barbecue.
Yes.
Flint?
Oh, yeah.
No, it was still in Grand Rapids at the time. And it was for
28th
Dawn's
Street.
birthday. Yes, it was for Dawn's birthday. And oh my God, we made pig's out of ourselves. It was so fucking good. And then they closed that shit. And I'm so pissed.
It's all right. They still have it in Flint, and I'll drive over there to get it.
So good.
All right. So I say we've been going a little bit. Steve, I appreciate you being on. I'd love to have you back on. We'll talk a little bit, hopefully
I
more.
don't know. Here I am. I've been sitting here now for 10 minutes with an empty glass. I don't know.
Look, we don't have waitresses.
Your drink's over there.
Well, I
If she
can't
left.
reach it.
Shit.
See?
David,
All you
grab
gotta do is ask
Grab
for
the
it.
ice, David. Is there any more? There's no more Vernors.
No more burners, but I do have
You know
ice.
what?
Looks like
When
you're
you
gonna have
run
to
out, You run out. That's good.
We can see what's in the fridge.
The old brown
Uh,
bottle.
no,
I do have Sprite in the fridge.
Too late now.
Not the same. So, but no, I
you
appreciate
go.
you coming on. Cheers. And I'd like to give a shout out to, not my beer tonight, but all you guys. Steve, thanks again for coming up.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody,
appreciate
like,
it.
subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family.
I'm going to shout out to 2 of our favorite breweries,
Two of
Great
our favorite-
Armory and Dustel. Thank you very much. Trail Point, thank you as well.
So
Mike,
unfortunately, I already put most of my cans in the recycling, but it was like an imperial stout from someplace.
And you had a sweater
from
weather?
something.
I
Yeah,
think
that was
Easter-
the- Yep,
I think Eastern Market was one of them.
yep,
Sweater
that was
weather.
the sweater weather,
Yep.
yep. And then there was some Connecticut, was the like mango.
Yeah, how was that sour?
It was pretty good. It wasn't officially a full sour, so it was more like just a fruit beer type thing.
So Crown Royal will be sitting here waiting for your sponsorship. Please
Excuse me.
come through with
Crown
that.
Royal with the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
We
Well,
don't give a shit. We'll take the Lions sponsorship or Crown Royal or.
I
both.
actually
We
think I'd
don't-
rather go with Crown Royal than the Lions.
I would agree with that.
I'll
They're on
take
their way
both.
back. They're on their way
Next
back.
year's my year, baby.
Your year for what?
To win.
Okay.
I thought something that said they have like the absolute lowest odds for winning the Super Bowl next year.
Do you know what it's
Put
like? to have-
$5 on them.
Do you know what it's like to have? I do every year. I go to Las Vegas just like every year.
Well, if you're gonna throw $5 away
I
like
was gonna
that.
give it to you, yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
I that and the Tigers.
They might be decent this year.
Bullshit.
They got my boy.
I'm done with you. Oh,
Mike.
Javier Baez. Get out of here.
That's our guy. We
Oh,
love
Well, actually,
we love El Mago.
One guy doesn't make a team.
yeah, but I mean,
They'll
you
still be
know,
better
You
than the
know what it's
Cubbies.
like to have pitching?
well, no,
I
but I
think-
mean,
think this is
you've got a
another
really good,
episode
Yeah,
we're
we're
talking
doing
about.
you've got
baseball episode.
an exciting fielder,
It's a
an
good young
exciting
team.
base, an exciting base runner when he actually gets on base.
That's good for
But the
TV.
thing is, even though now the designated hitter's going to be
So
across
stupid.
the board,
And they're not
so
even going to
stupid.
be. Yes, it's great.
so you
so
can protect.
stupid.
You can put somebody behind him to the point where they actually have to somewhat pitch to him.
And
True
you know what pisses me off? That
Yeah.
they officially finally made it happen this year after what's his face? Gosh,
I'm telling you right now, it's bullshit. I
bullshit.
like pitchers hitting. It's more strategic.
right, and you have oh gosh, Bumgardner,
Madison
right?
Bumgarner,
Who's stupid good at hitting. Right?
yeah. There's a lot of pitchers
Yeah.
that are
You've
good.
got-
at hitting.
It's frustrating.
Shoshai Otani or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was-
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Well, they can still let them hit, can't they? If they
Oh,
want.
he
I mean,
still
they
will.
Oh, he's gonna
Oh,
hit.
he'll still be a DH
Oh,
every day he doesn't
absolutely.
pitch. And yeah.
But
So, anyways, while we're here, I'm just
we're gonna do a baseball episode because pitchers and catchers just started reporting.
They have not reported yet. We
Well,
still have no labor agreement.
Someday
Someday when they report, we'll do a baseball
What the
episode
hell is
again.
this all about? I hate to.
So-
we'll talk about that off air.
Yeah, owners are greedy and players want money. So, anyways, thanks again
Players
for
are also greedy.
a little bit, yeah. So thanks for joining us again. We'll be back next week. Nick, I know we need to talk about more mental health like we did because Vanessa had a whole bunch more stuff to bring up. So just telling you, we'll get back into that. And
Will she yell at Nick again like she did last time?
she might, because that was fun. It's always fun when one of us gets yelled at. So thanks again for joining us. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe.
You've dialed in to Bucks and Brews. You might hear something you can use, like tips on your cash or tips on the suds. You're gonna want to use the smarts of these stuff, cause they know the brews, and they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks. So listen up, cause shit's not funny. And save yourself some beer money. Bucks and Brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and Brews.
Bucks and Brews.